invite all alumni to remain standing for the playing of our alma mater.
Chris, you got me?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
All right. Well, we are on Halloween night. We offer you no tricks, but a treat, as we have Oak Hill and Woodrow. It's a classic rivalry. And, Chris, where do we even begin with this game? Because you've got two teams that don't like each other. They almost seemingly always play a really close football game. They're both in the bottom half of the Quad A standings, both still alive to maybe host the playoff game, depending on how things go. And for Woodrow, they're coming off 2 straight losses, while Oak Hill has 2 straight wins. Which one do you want to start with? Because we've got storylines galore.
No, that's true. I really think Woodrow wants this game tonight. And, you know, we can get into the playoff seedings and all that. The fact is, I think both of these teams are going to make the playoffs. There's an outside shot they could get into the top 8, both of them. But more than anything, I think Beckley wants this game tonight because they've lost the last 2 to Oak Hill. And I have a couple little facts to illustrate just how unusual that is. So Oak Hill's won each of the last 2 years against Beckley. The last time that happened, we were in a world war. That was 1943 and 1944, the last time that Oak Hill beat Beckley in back-to-back years. And the only time that Oak Hill has ever beaten Beckley 3 straight years in a row, which is what they're trying to do tonight, was 1927, 28, and 29. So that tells you how rare it is. Woodrow just isn't used to losing to Oak Hill. The fans aren't used to seeing that. So I guarantee you, after losing 2 in a row, the last 2 weeks, and then losing to Oak Hill each of the last 2 years, Beckley's foaming at the mouth for this game tonight.
I would have to second it. I did not know it was during the FDR administration the last time that had happened.
I got on our Four Seasons website this week and did a little digging, and that's what I came up with. 43-44 was the last time Oak Hill had beaten Beckley 2 years in a row. That shows you just how rare that's been. You know, Beckley really has controlled this series.
To your point, the all-time series is 60-18 and 3 ties for Beckley. So you're right. 2 times out of 3, 3 times out of 4, really, Beckley's beaten Oak Hill. Let's focus on tonight, though, because I talked about how Beckley's coming in losing 2 in a row. Oak Hill seemingly got their season back on track with 2 straight wins. This is Oak Hill's last Quad A game. This is a big game for Oak Hill because you don't really stand to gain as much beating a AAA team as you do beating a Quad A team for Oak Hill in that division. Whereas George Washington is Woodrow's next opponent, obviously a Quad A team for the Flying Eagles next week. So this is, in terms of playoff positioning, a really big game for Oak Hill, too.
No, it absolutely is, and Oak Hill would like to get this. And Oak Hill, you know, they hit a couple bumps in the road in the middle of the season. They've kind of got their feet under them the last couple of weeks with wins over Hurricane and South Charleston. Now, again, I think it would be disingenuous if we didn't, you know, address the fact that was probably a little bit of opponent adjusted. Hurricane and South Charleston are having their issues this year. Woodrow's a lot better football team than either one of those teams, but Oak Hill got their feet under them a little bit. They would love to get this rivalry game here again tonight. That would ensure a 3rd consecutive winning season under Devon Marion, and it gives you a little bit of momentum as you head into the postseason. So, yeah, definitely a big game for both teams here tonight in Beckley.
We're about set to see how everything plays out. Chris, I was doing a little bit of looking at Woodrow's schedule. We talked about opponent adjustment. Woodrow's played some good teams. They played Greenbrier East. We know how all that went. They played Bluefield. They've played Princeton. They're going to George Washington. This is a good team that this season scores a lot of points. They're averaging 33.7 points a game last time, but up to 34, and they're giving up 29 on the dot. Offense is galore usually in Woodrow games, but this game historically has not been so. It's only an average score of 21-8, Beckley beating Oak Hill. So, I mean, you're talking about what happens now versus two teams that, I mean, last game out, the last 2 times, was 19-14 and 21-19. These are historically, at least in the last few years, really close games, really low-scoring games where field position and turnovers matter.
No, absolutely. And I kind of expect that again here tonight. If this game gets into the 30s, which it could, I'll be frankly surprised. I'm expecting a score kind of like what we've seen the last couple years, you know, maybe high teens, low 20s. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I know Beckley and Princeton, the scoreboard lit up for that. And like you said, Beckley's averaging almost 34 points a game. But I'll be surprised if it gets to that point tonight. And I'll be interested to see what each team has in store for the other tonight. I know last week against South Charleston, Oak Hill was trying to bring in some new wrinkles offensively. And when it worked, it looked really good. I think they're getting deeper into their playbook a little bit. I'm seeing more pre-snap motion than what I was seeing earlier in the year. Now, the downside of that was Oak Hill had a lot of procedure penalties and they had a lot of formation penalties. So sometimes they had trouble getting lined up. But when they were able to get lined up and actually run the play, they looked really good against South Charleston. And then from the Beckley perspective, Beckley, they've kind of made a fool of me the last 2 years, because the last 2 years I'll get in the pregame and I'll go, they're going to get in that double wing and just pound it at Oak Hill. And the first possession, they come out and go 4 wide and they're trying to throw the football. So I do think Beckley's DNA at their heart, I think Beckley wants to pound the football and have a strong run game. I think that we'll see that tonight, but they can do that from different formations. They will get in that double wing and a tight to the line of scrimmage formation, and then other times they'll spread you out but still try to run the football behind that big physical offensive line they have. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup tonight between Oak Hill and Beckley.
I was going to say, what you're telling me is to stay tuned, grab a hot beverage, and watch a good game of ball, right?
This is a great night if you're handing out Halloween candy and it's cold. As the kids are coming to get their candy, just have us, streaming on your TV and watch some good Friday night football. This is a perfect night for it.
Perfect night. Can't get much better. It's a good old-fashioned rivalry. We don't like them. They don't like us. It's a great night for football.
It's a night for the diehards.
Yes, it is. No, you want to talk about a night for the diehards? Last night was the night for the diehards of the soccer team at Oak Hill.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Let's do it.
First of all, I want to nice job. I tuned into the second half and I heard your call. You did a great job with that. I'm not enough of a soccer aficionado. I don't know enough about the game to help you. You do a great job though, doing that solo. But I heard you mention that's the first time the Oak Hill girls have ever qualified for the state tournament.
It is indeed.
So I was tickled to death. That's going to be next week in Beckley, correct?
Yeah, they play Thursday at 7:30 against Wheeling Park.
Nice. Well, if the weather holds up, if they can, allow a fan to jump on their bandwagon, I might come over here and watch it then.
I think that bandwagon is wide open for you, Chris. I see no reason why you can't jump on. Those girls deserve it. Those girls absolutely deserve it. And we wish them all the best. It's been a pleasure to call their games all year long. And I kind of promised Coach I'd be at that game, so I think you know where to find me next Thursday.
Awesome.
I made a promise, and I intend to keep it. So let's talk about a little more about this game for Oak Hill. Let's get back to American football. Solomon Truman looks like he might be out for at least this game, maybe this season. Antoine Hicks is back there again at quarterback. It's a season of injuries for Oak Hill and guys stepping up.
So, and since our last broadcast, we didn't do the South Charleston game last week, but previously I had mentioned I thought Owen Gross was out for the year, and I think that was something that was kind of a given. And then all of a sudden he shows up and played against South Charleston last week, and I talked to his dad, Dr. Chris Gross, who's a chiropractor, and he said that he released him. He done really well with his rehab. So you get him back, I think, unexpectedly. But then, unfortunately, like you said, Solomon's out tonight. He might be done for the year. I'm not going to guess on that, but he's definitely out for tonight. And the shame of that is, since he had came back from his previous injury, he had really been playing well from his linebacker position, and they could really use him tonight against that stout Beckley ground game. So he'll be hard to replace tonight, but unfortunately he will not be in the lineup for Oak Hill.
So we'll see how, again, that's been the theme of this season, adjustments to injuries. That's how it's going to have to be tonight. Beckley in the all-familiar maroon with the white helmet. Oak Hill in the all-white with the red helmet tonight. A solid uniform matchup. If you're into that kind of thing.
There's some uniforms that just look good together. I think Beckley and Oak Hill, when you see them on the court or see them on the field together, it just looks natural to me. So,
it does.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. It feels like Beckley and Oak Hill haven't played that much over the course because sometimes they've been in different classes. So it's an underappreciated rivalry, I think.
Yeah, they did take some time off. When Oak Hill dropped to Double A, they took many years where they didn't play each other. And I'm glad they've kind of renewed it. I grew up, I cut my teeth on, watching Oak Hill and Beckley do battle in basketball and football, and I'm glad that they've renewed that rivalry. It's good for the fans. It's an easy drive for each for each fan base. And a lot of these kids know each other. They'll play summer ball together. Some of them might be on the same AAU or travel team. So I'm glad to see them get back together again, too.
As am I. Let's quit yapping about the uniforms and let's play ball. Looks like Oak Hill is going to be kicking off, and Beckley will send number 3. Oh, drop my paper.
That's going to be Gage Burdett. Looks like number 5, A.J. Thomas, is back with him. And they're the two of Beckley's primary ball carriers, too, so they're going to be back deep to return. And I know I was seeing some highlights from Spring Valley last week. A.J. Thomas, in particular, had a really nice game against Spring Valley last week. So have a couple of kids back there used to having the ball in their hands. So that's a couple of dangerous returnmen for the Flying Eagles.
As always, special teams is important. We've seen that burn Oak Hill a couple times this year. We'll see how this game plays out. Beckley and Oak Hill yet again.
And it's too cold for us to have stoppages before the kickoff even gets started.
Yes, it is. We already pushed this game back to 7:30 from 7. Like, come on, guys.
Let's get the show on the road, Stripes. And I think we might have an equipment issue, and here we go. Unbelievable.
Before the kickoff, not even the first play from scrimmage.
As Andrew Wingrove, I guess, maybe didn't have his mouthpiece in or something, so Jagger Workman's going to have to come in and do the kicking here on the opening kickoff. Man, the equipment issues, gosh, are unbelievable to me.
That kicks in the air. It'll be fielded at about the 29-yard line, but a whistle blows it dead right there. What happened?
They're going to say Oak Hill was offsides, and what a really discombobulated. And I guess the good news is you can get Andrew Wingrove back in there to kick it off. He's going to have to kick it 5 yards further back from the 35. And on a cold night like this, we've seen Andrew put it in the end zone, but 5 yards further back and kicking a hard football, I doubt he does that.
I was going to say, it's not like it is in August where that ball will sail. Not now.
Not likely.
Though the wind is blowing a little bit, that wind could catch it. Who knows? That's why we gave you the windscreen, Mr. Out there amongst the people.
And they actually are going to make Andrew's going back to the sideline, and Workman's going to have to be the one to do the kickoff here.
Huh. So let's try this again and see if it sticks.
Yeah, let's get the kickoff here.
Kicks in the air. It's going to be fielded about 5 yards further up. That's a flag on the back end of that, so we'll see what that comes to.
Well, you have to think usually when the flag comes in from the back end, it's a block in the back or a hold or something. Beckley with great field position out past the 50, but this might push them back a little bit. We'll see what the call is.
I think that was Maddox Morris, number 10, on the return for Beckley.
And that is going to be a hold, so that'll push them back, and Beckley will start here at their own 42. And there was a question coming into tonight whether Gage Price, the starting quarterback, was going to be in, but it looks like he is. He's number 2 on your screen. He's been out the last couple of weeks, but Gage Price is back behind center for the Flying Eagles tonight.
There are 2 Gages on this football team, and they both wear consecutive numbers. Gage Price, number 2, like we said, and Gage Burdett, number 3.
And if Gage Price goes out, Gage Burdett is the backup. So Beckley they're going to start out in a 4-wide set in a pistol formation here, Lucas.
Price brings a man in motion. That was Javonte Wins. And that's going to be a flag on the play.
Wow.
So we've already got 3 flags in the first 3 actions of the football game.
3 flags, and we haven't snapped the ball yet. That's not a good start to the game.
No, that's not.
And like you said, especially with me sitting here outside, I want this game.
You want this game to move in like 2 hours flat.
Well, here's the good news. Luckily, I started putting on my winter weight back in August. So I got a jump start on that. I got a little extra layer to keep me warm out here.
All we can say is Chris is prepared. That's all we can say. All right, here we go in the stack formation now to the near side. Snap will be back. It'll be a handoff up the middle. And you're probably in a better position than I to say who kept that ball.
Yeah, so that was James Ludwig and Cade Compton in on the tackle. Very short gain that time. And that's going to bring, and again, with the penalty, Beckley's already behind the sticks. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 14, absolutely. And
So
that's where Oak Hill wants to keep Beckley, because Beckley, like I said, their DNA is they want to run the ball. And if they're behind the sticks, they're going to have to throw it a little bit. And that's really not what they want to do.
And here they are in a trips formation now to the near side. Snap is back. Price drops to throw. He will throw. That pass is complete out on the far side. And that'll give Beckley a third and very manageable here on the opening drive of the game.
Yeah, so they did make it third and manageable, and they had A.J. Thomas singled up out there on the far right, and he just ran a little 8 or 9 yard hitch route, and that gives Beckley a very manageable third down after being in 2nd and 14. So nice job from the Flying Eagles right there. Nice job from Price to recognize that there was a little cushion out there on the corner and that he could throw that route.
Scoreboard has it as 3rd and 3, and we'll go with that.
And here they go with that double wing formation, Lucas.
No runner. That ball's on the ground. So we'll see who is ruled to have come up with it.
I think it was a fumbled snap, and it's looking like Beckley is going to retain possession. That's going to bring up a 4th down on their own side of the field. Let's see what Coach Chad Surratt wants to do here as Price is going over to get the play. So it looks like he's going to keep his offense in there. He's going to gamble.
I was going to say on 3rd and 4, getting them all in that bunch set, almost felt like he knew he was going for it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you think maybe after gaining nothing, they might punt, but it looks like they're in an I formation now.
The rare I formation, and they're going to get a free first down.
Ah, boy, yeah.
So that's what, 4 penalties in 3 plays?
Yeah, that was Z. Lewis who got a little antsy right there. He's coming back from a suspension last week. He didn't play against South Charleston. So Antoine Hicks is going to check back in, and Jeremy Lewis is going to check out. They went with the jumbo package on that 4th down, so they're getting an extra defensive back in there with Antoine, and Lewis is going to take a seat. But yeah, nice job by Beckley on the snap count there, and you got Oak Hill to jump. You got a free 5, and that keeps the drive alive.
Ball spotted on the 49-yard line of the Flying Eagles. Snap is back. It's a handoff going to Gage Burdett. I think that was number 3.
That was Burdett. Yeah, he's got about 4 yards. Looks like Jagger Knox from his outside linebacker position was in on that tackle. Jagger stepped in and had a nice year for Oak Hill. He didn't play a lot his freshman year. He's gotten a lot more clock here his sophomore year. I think the coaching staff thinks he has a lot of potential. He's got good size. They just want to unlock it a little bit more, but he's been able to step in on the defensive side of the ball, especially make some nice plays for Oak Hill this year.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. And a flag comes in yet again.
Yeah, just an unbelievable start here. 5 flags already, and we're not just barely 3 minutes into the game.
That's a big one, though, to back Beckley up to a 2nd down and 12 on a false start.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got their big left tackle, Andrew Sweeney, a 6'2", 260-pound sophomore. He's the one that jumped that time, and that'll put him behind the sticks about a 2nd and 11 now. And you'll notice, Lucas, that Oak Hill might change their fronts depending on what formation Beckley goes with. When they're in that double wing set, you might see them go to a 5 or even a 6-man front. But when they're in a standard 3 or 4 receiver set, they probably want to stay in that 4-man front like they are right now with a 3 receiver set.
It's a 4 receiver set as the handoff goes up the middle, and it's not going to get but maybe a yard, actually 4 or 5. 3 or 4 yards, so it'll make a 3rd down and let's say 8 or 9.
So again, that was Jagger Knox in on the tackle. Number 2, Luke Endicott's in there now too. Luke started the year as the quarterback. Antoine's the QB now. But because of some of the necessity, because of the injury to Solomon Truman, they're having Luke is starting now on the defensive side of the ball at kind of a linebacker, maybe a linebacker safety hybrid there. But they're relying on him on the defensive side of the ball now.
Trips to the near side, single receiver out wide. Price will drop to throw once again. He'll be flushed from the pocket and take it himself. He's going to cross the 50 to the 45 and be shoved out of bounds at about the 44-yard line, so it'll be short of the first down. And Woodrow will have a decision to make.
Well, 4th and 2 on the plus 50, I think they're definitely going to go for it here. As Andres Johnson's helmet popped off. We'll see maybe he just took it off himself, but usually if your helmet pops off, you got to set out a play. But I think
it looks like they are going to run him.
They're going to make him set out a play. Yeah, his helmet popped off, so he's going to have to set out a play.
I thought I saw one of the officials kind of motioning like, son, get off the field.
Yeah, so again, that's going to be Jeremy Lewis, number 51. Looks like he's going to Well, it looks like he was going to check in. Now there's some confusion on the Oak Hill sideline about who's actually coming in. Now they're going to bring Owen Gross in. And they might put him back at the safety position and scoot Luke up a little bit. But on a 4th and 2, I'd be looking for that double wing set and a jumbo package for Beckley. It's not a double wing. It's going to be, it is a double wing set. So here we go.
Good old-fashioned football right here. And they're going to throw out of it, and that pass is going to be incomplete.
And, they're going to throw a flag.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow, I thought that looked good.
I guess they're going to get Caleb Compton for face guarding. He never got his head around. He never made contact with. I don't love that call, to be honest with you. He never made contact with the receiver. He never got his head around. He was face guarding, but he never made contact. I thought it was pretty good defense. He was able to get his hands up and deflect the ball.
Man,
that's a tough call for Oak Hill, and that's the second penalty this drive on a 4th down that keeps the drive alive though for Flying Eagles. They're 1st and 10 at the Oak Hill 28.
They're going to go to that 2-wing look again. They'll hand the ball off to Burdett. And he's going to get near a 1st down, if not actually move the sticks.
Now that's their bread and butter, man. That's what they want to do is getting that double wing set. And they'll run those little inside, those like crossbuck handoffs. A lot of misdirection in the interior of the line. And when Beckley's at their best, that's what they're doing. They're in that double wing, and they are pounding at you, double teaming at the point of attack, pulling some guards and tackles, and that's what they want to do.
And they will move the chains there, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Flying Eagles once again. Burdett takes the handoff once again. He'll get near the 10. In fact, he'll cross the 10 to the 9.
That's the same play. That's the exact same play as the play before, and another really nice job. And, in Oak Hill, when they go to that double wing set, it looks like they're going to a 6-man front. They're wanting to have a lot of traffic in there and have their run fit solid, but the last couple plays, they haven't done that.
That should when the clock starts after this, when the clock is set. I'll take it's over 5 minutes elapsed in the football game. And 7:01 reads on our clock at the moment.
As Caden Morris is coming in very late to check in at a linebacker position for Oak Hill. Again, they're in a 6-man front here.
Heading off, going up the middle once again. That's to Javante Wins.
Well, that was a really good cutback by Wins that time. That play was designed to go to the left, and he saw a cutback on the weak side back to the right, and he exploited it and got right down there at the goal line. So Beckley has that run game cooking right now.
That they do, and you can't get much closer to the goal line without scoring than they are right now.
No, you can't.
1st and goal from the 1-foot line. And they're going to go to that I formation here, Chris.
Yeah, they sure are.
Handoff goes in the middle, and I don't know how he's not been scoring. If let's see what the call is. I think he got it. Yep, he did. Touchdown, Beckley.
Yeah, so Beckley scores on the opening possession. They had some help. 2 big Oak Hill penalties, each on 4th down to keep the drive alive, especially that pass interference when Caleb Compton down the field, which I thought was a little iffy, to be honest with you. I didn't love that call, but regardless, that kept the drive alive, and Beckley ate up some clock and got on the board here to start the game.
And ate up almost exactly half the quarter to boot. So if you're talking about Beckley's game plan, I'm sure they're hitting on it right now. And now the extra point coming up here from Vince Umberger, number 6, and that kick is up. And that kick is indeed good. So Beckley strikes first and takes a 7-0 lead with 6:15 to go in the first quarter. You are watching high school football on the New Network. We will come back right after this.
Red Devils, nothing.
We're back here on the Nerva Network. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you live from Van Meter Stadium in Beckley, West Virginia. As Oak Hill and Woodrow Wilson getting together once again here on the gridiron. Beckley takes a 7-0 lead on the first drive of the football game. And Chris, I said it kind of before the game, I would have to imagine that if you're Coach Chad Surratt, that drive went about just as well as you could imagine. Even accepting the 2 penalties, they moved the ball fairly well. On the ground at that.
Well, especially the latter end of that drive when they got in that double wing set, and they were very effective with that run game. And if Chad Surratt sees that, he'll stay in that all night. That's really what he wants to do.
Kickoff will be returned here.
Oh, he fumbled it.
Oh, my goodness. And that looks like Beckley's going to have it.
Yeah, Owen Gross just had it jarred loose, and Beckley's going to take over now at about the 31-yard line. So really rough start here for Oak Hill. Really wasn't much of a hit. Owen just didn't have that ball tucked away quite as tightly as he needed to and coughed it up, and Beckley's back in business already.
I'll say they are that ball's on the 31. So we'll see what the Flying Eagles can do here as they've got a chance to go up 2 scores just like that.
Yeah, I see some confusion. Jeremy Lewis again checking on very, very late here for Oak Hills. They're in that double wing set.
And this is going to be blown dead.
Flag on the play.
I don't see a flag out there.
There's no foul on the flag. Officials timeout. Number 51 didn't have his mouthpiece in. It will be sent out for 1 play.
Okay.
I guess, and that was Lewis who came in very late, but he didn't have his mouthpiece in. That was 71 for Beckley. That's their best lineman, Jamarcus Mann. He's their big left tackle over there. Brad was singing his praises when I talked to him.
And there goes another sub as Antoine comes on.
Yeah, Oak Hill is trying, I think, to sub. They're seeing what package Beckley's putting in, and they're trying to match that. Whether if Beckley's going big, they're trying to go big with them, and then if they go a little smaller, then Oak Hill's bringing an extra defensive back in there. But it looks like they're going big again here. I formation. They're going to send Cleary out to a split end out there to the right.
Tampa's back, though, hand the ball off. That's going to A.J. Thomas, and Thomas is going absolutely nowhere.
Big Derek Sullivan, got some penetration, and that's something Oak Hill didn't do on that touchdown drive was get a lot of penetration. But Derek Sullivan did that time and threw Thomas for a loss, and that's where they want to keep Beckley's behind the sticks.
That'll move it back. It should be 2nd down and 11. Indeed, it will be as we cross the 5:40 mark in the first quarter.
And again, Jeremy Lewis has checked in that defensive line. So Oak Hill going with their bigger package here as they're going with 6 men across the front, Beckley in that double wing set.
It's a pitch out, and another flag comes in. It's a false start against Eliza Pittman for Woodrow.
Yes, so another procedure flag from Woodrow. They had one of those they had 2 of those actually the first drive, so that's their 3rd procedure penalty already of the game. But they were able to overcome those penalties the first drive when they got behind the sticks. Let's see if they can here.
We'll make it 2nd down and 16.
But they're going to stay in that tight to the formation double wing set, even though it's 2nd and long.
And that's going to be a handoff to Burdett, trying to get to the outside. He's going to fall forward for a few yards and get near the original line of scrimmage.
So you see a lot of misdirection. Beckley actually looked like they were going to run a pitch out to the left, and then they had to give that little inside give to Burdett across the right-hand side, and he was really close to breaking that. I couldn't quite tell who corralled him, but they kept it to a fairly short game because I thought for a minute Burdett was going to get to the outside and have a lot of room. But that's really tough when you're in the interior there and you see all that misdirection and ball handling. It's really tough sometimes to pick up who's got the ball.
Snap is back. They'll drop to throw, and that pass is nearly intercepted, but it falls incomplete.
And man, Carson Treadway came off that right defensive end position, and he just ducked his left shoulder just under Jamarcus Mann and was able to get to Price, just as he released that ball. And we saw Carson have 6.5 sacks in one game when he finally moved that defensive end spot against Hurricane the other day, a couple weeks ago. And he's really effective at rushing that passer, as is James Ludwig on the other side, as Beckley's in a 4th and long now.
4th down and 11, and Chris, I hate to be so dramatic early in the game, but this really is a huge play.
Yeah, Oak Hill wants to stop him here and not go down 2 scores. They're going with that 4-man front.
Snap is back once again, forcing Price out of the pocket. That pass is incomplete. No flags thrown, and Oak Hill holds defensively and will take over on downs.
That's a big stop for Oak Hill. You know, like you said, Beckley took over at Oak Hill's 31, and that's where Oak Hill's going to – in fact, Oak Hill's actually going to take over at the 32, so Beckley in that drive had a net 1-yard loss. You know, that was helped by the penalty, of course, but Derek Sullivan also had a nice tackle for loss. Carson Treadway was able to get in there that 3rd down play and really disrupt the pass. The Oak Hill defense stepped up right there when they needed them to.
Indeed they did, and we have another game of Antoine being back there at quarterback, and we'll see how he does with his mates starting now.
As that, Oak Hill's in their own 2-back set. They're going to send Carson in motion out of there.
And that's going to be a big play here. I couldn't see who took that ball. This is Compton.
That was Cade Compton, and A.J. Thomas saved the touchdown. But again, I mentioned Oak Hill's been getting in, you know, they've been ironing out some wrinkles for some new plays, and that was one of them. That time they got in that 2-back, they motioned Treadway out, and then they have the little inside give to Compton, who's lined up at the fullback. That's not something, if you're Beckley, you've seen on film.
No.
And I've noticed that Devon Marion the last couple of weeks is really starting to dig into his playbook a little bit more and show things you haven't seen from earlier in the season.
Trips to the far side, one receiver to the near side, single back in the backfield. Antoine will throw a screen pass out wide. That's going to be caught from Carson Treadway. Carson will dive near to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Red Devils.
Well, I'll tell you what, and we saw this last week against South Charleston, where they made a concerted effort to get the ball in Carson Treadway's hands, and I think that's a good move for Oak Hill. I think that Carson Treadway is probably their most dynamic offensive player when he's got the ball in his hands. He leads the team in yards per reception. He leads the team in yards per rush. He leads the team with 7 touchdowns. And last week they made a concerted effort to get him the ball, and they did that time too, and you see the results of that.
Ball spotted on the 20-yard line straight up. And it looked like Beckley was jumping there, but they're not going to call it. And that's going to be near the 15-yard line, so a solid gain there on 1st down.
Yeah, about a 4-yard gain. That keeps you on schedule. It's going to bring up about a 2nd and 6 for Oak Hill. Let's see if Beckley, as they get pushed back further to the goal line, if they start being a little more aggressive with their linebackers, wanting to walk a safety up. It looks like right now they're going to stay in a 4-man front. We'll see if they bring some linebackers up and blitz here.
Showing pressure off the edge. Oak Hill's going to run away from it. That'll send Carson to the ground. It's
a really nice tackle by Gage Burdett from his linebacker position. That's going to bring up a 3rd down for Oak Hill. And, this is 2-down territory. Oak Hill really doesn't kick field goals. So this will be 2-down territory. So, Devon Marion with his play calling will take that into account, that he has two downs to get this 7 yards.
Antoine has the play, and we'll see what it is here with 15 seconds on the play clock. 10 when they come to the line. Snap is back. Antoine will drop to throw. It's a jump pass. It's caught. Carson Treadway near the goal line. Carson is not in, but he will be down at like the 2.
Yeah, you're right, Antoine. That was just a quick slant from Carson, and that's not how there's not going to be an instructional video on how to throw a quick slant with jumping in the air like that, but it was effective. And you see, again, Carson Treadway, when he gets the ball in his hands, not only, he's a dynamic player, but he's physical too. Carson's 6'1", 195 pounds. He's hard to get to the ground sometimes for a defensive back. You saw him run through a tackle that time to get it down into a goal-to-go situation.
Compton in the backfield with Antoine. Handoff will go to Cade. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Hill.
Really good answer drive from Oak Hill. 68-yard drive after a little bit of a rough start, especially after that fumbled kickoff. You're thinking, this isn't starting. But that was a really good drive, a good balanced drive, too, not only on the ground, but a couple plays through the air to Carson Treadway. So really nice answer drive here from Oak Hills. They're an extra point away from tying it.
And we'll see that extra point right here. Well, maybe not.
Officials timeout. Illegal equipment found on Oak Hill player. This is their warning for illegal equipment.
Well, that's new.
I have no idea what illegal equipment is. That's going to be Caleb Spike, though, who has the illegal equipment. I would love to know what that is.
Me too.
I'm having flashbacks of when I watch pro wrestling, like somebody had a foreign object in their trunks.
But Chris, I'll bring up a point here before the extra point. We've seen when a substitute national man on special teams that can show itself.
It can sometimes. And I think that's Owen Gross, because Spike was the holder, so Owen Gross has come in to do the holding here now on this extra point. But, yeah, these officials, that must have been a point of emphasis in the offseason, this equipment issues, because, man, we have seen it called a bunch this year.
More this year than the previous few years combined. Snap is back, kick is up on the way. It didn't show itself there. That kick is good. And Oak Hill's tied the game with 1:09 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, like I said, that's a really good answer drive from Oak Hill, that 68-yard drive. They went straight down the field. And, again, they're showing some things that, if you're Beckley, you haven't seen a lot of that on film, if any of it on film, because just in the last couple of weeks against Hurricane and South Charleston, they've been breaking out some new plays, some new formations, and showing you some looks that it's hard to prepare for.
Now, Chris, I'll make a point. I was going to make it when we talked about how Woodrow was able to get in that two-back and that two-double wing set, really, and start doing, you mentioned all the motion and how it's hard to find the ball. Football is in itself a very simple game, right? It looks like a lot of window dressing, but it all comes down to just blocking, right? Get a man on a man and make it hard to find the ball.
Well, no, that's true. I mean, the offenses have, they've evolved. Time has went on, but you're right. If you can move the man in front of you, a lot of times it's just about winning one-on-one battles.
And that kickoff will be taken here. It's a good kickoff, too. That might go the distance. Burdett's going to go across the 30. I think he stepped out further back, but they're not going to call that.
Yeah, man, it looked like Oak Hill had that defended pretty well, and Burdett was just able to find a crease on the sideline. And Riley Biggs, the freshman, was finally able to bring him down, but, man, all the way back to the Oak Hill 26-yard line. So, we've talked about it many times this year. The Oak Hill special teams as it continues to be spotty, unfortunately. And you know what? I think you're right. I think they're going to say he stepped out at the 41, so that helps a little. But that's still a really good return.
Score one for blind as a bat, Luke.
Yeah, you saw it. I hear you.
Without my binoculars, which I did bring tonight. All right.
Still result of the play. Another Blind Eagle first down.
So Woodrow in shotgun now, in that pistol look. Price gets it out. That pass is caught by A.J. Thomas. Thomas is going to go to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and Woodrow takes the lead back just like that.
Yeah, it was actually Preston Clary out there who caught that swing pass, and I think we're going to have a flag maybe for some celebration down there for Beckley. But, yeah, as soon as he threw that, Oak Hill he had a lot of room out there to run as soon as he caught it. Oak Hill did not have that defended very well, and a 41-yard touchdown pass on the opening play of the drive to Preston Cleary on a little screen pass out there. And, yeah, Oak Hill didn't do a very good job defensively defending that at all.
So we'll see how they enforce this.
I would think they'll enforce it on the kickoff.
I would think.
Yeah, that'll give Oak Hill better position, field position on the kickoff.
Yeah,
on the back end.
After the score, red ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Woodrow Wilson, number 4, this is his first unsportsmanlike toward disqualification. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
It's Jaleel Sharp, Washington, on the penalty there for Beckley.
He'll get a chewing from the coaching staff for that.
Kick is up and a flag is down. It's good. That's But we'll see what this flag is all about. Again.
I might have thought Oak Hill was offsides on that.
May have.
Encroachment, defense, half the distance to the goal. Try for point.
So let's see if they move it up, if that changes Chad Surratt's thinking. Let's see if he thinks maybe about getting that double wing and trying to go for 2 here.
If he does, I can't say I blame him.
But it looks like he's keeping his kicker on the field, so I guess he's just going to try to kick this extra point.
Yep, it does indeed look like that. Snap is back, kick is up, and that kick is good. So it's 14-7 Beckley with 50 seconds to go in quarter number 1. On the first play of the drive, they convert, and after a penalty, they get the extra point.
Yeah, so we've seen some swings of momentum, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
I say it every time these two teams get together, and I'll echo it. It's Oak Hill Woodrow.
Yeah, and you know, it's right now so far it's been a punch counter punch. So we'll see if Oak Hill's got another counter punch in them after they tie the game. Beckley retakes the lead after one play, and again it was set up by a really nice kickoff return that got him down to Oak Hill's 41. So again, it just swings of momentum, and we'll see if Oak Hill can grasp it back here on this second drive.
We'd like to recognize some of our game sponsors. The Pickle.
Now, again, with that penalty, they should get pretty good field position here. That's going to push Beckley back to the 25, where they'll be kicking. So you would think that's going to help Oak Hill with field position here. Looks like Carson Treadway is back, and Z. Lewis is back here to return the ball.
That's so weird that you had a penalty and then there was the encroachment penalty, but the prior penalty still gets enforced. That's so weird to me. It's just you don't see that, but here it is.
Well, I mean, it's dead ball, so that's usually,
True.
you know, it was a dead ball penalty after the touchdown, so that will, you know, is typically enforced on the kickoff. We'll see if Oak Hill can take advantage of that 15-yard penalty.
We'll see
Get
if they
their
can.
own nice, you know, return right here. That'd be nice.
It would be. That's a really good kick.
It is a good kick.
Be fielded shy of the 30, taken out to the 40, and then get dragged down at the 45.
So that was a nice return by Z. So they did get good field position on that. He returned it 20 yards up there to the 45, so that's where they'll take over for their second drive here. Let's see if they can answer that Beckley score with their own again.
So Oak Hill taking over with 43 seconds left to go in our first quarter.
The unsportsmanlike penalty was on number 8, not number 4. It was on number 8 on the touchdown play.
So that was on Clary, the guy who scored the touchdown. He gets one. Another one, he'd be out of the game. As Oak Hill's back in a 4-receiver set here.
They'll bring a man in motion, and they'll hand the ball off. And that's a good tackle from behind there.
It was a nice tackle from behind as Cade Compton was trying to cut back over there to the left. And I think that was number 18 for Beckley, Jaheim Miller, in on the tackle from his linebacker position, who was able to drag him down from behind, because it looked like Cade did have a little bit of room over there, but Miller was able to drag him down from behind there.
Snap is back. It's another handoff going to Compton.
It's got to be a face mask.
Has to be, yeah.
That's going to be a 15-yard variety, too. So that'll move the sticks. That's going to be on number 77, Tyrez Jones, 6'4", 313-pounder. Beckley always has good size, and Jones is a big boy, but he got a big part of Cade's face mask that time. You saw that head snap back, so that'll be a 15-yard penalty and move the sticks.
That should roll our quarter to the very end. Yep, it does. We hit the 000 mark of quarter number 1. We're back in the second quarter right after this on the New River Network. We welcome you back to the New River Network's coverage of high school football. And Chris, in the first quarter, it seemed like it was tit for tat, counterpunch to punch. And right now, Oak Hill's got a great chance to counterpunch Woodrow's touchdown.
Yeah,
they got
absolutely.
a free first down on the back of a penalty. And it's a big drive here for the Red Devils with a renewed set of downs. Here's the snap and a throw from Antoine. If he can get it away.
Oh, I think that was intercepted.
Wow.
That's going to be Gage Burdett, and he made a great break on the ball, and I think they're going to, yeah, he came down with it. As Antoine maybe just waited, he kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and then when he finally released it, Burdett was able to make a break on the ball, so that's the second turnover of the game, and that was a great play from Burdett as he broke right in front of Carson Treadway at the last minute, and the refs ruled he got his feet down, so big turnover there.
Counterpoint to what I just said. If you're Beckley, this is a huge drive. It's a huge drive for Oak Hill, but for Beckley, you've got a chance to open this game up a little bit. And it's going to be a handoff going for pretty good yardage. In fact, it should go for a first down, and indeed it will. That's going to be the interceptor, Burdett, getting the first down for his team.
Yeah, they're having trouble stopping that, too. And I'm seeing a lot of Oak Hill's had several plays already where they're running a man on late. It looks like there's some confusion about the personnel that they want to get in there on defense, and I think they're trying to, to match Beckley's package when they're whatever they're showing. But again, I saw Caleb Compton running on very late that time for Oak Hill. But yeah, they got that run game going right now for Beckley.
They're in that double wing set. That's a handoff going to Devontae Wines. And he's going to run for a little bit out to near the 40.
And that was a touchdown-saving tackle from Z. Lewis. And I'll tell you what, man, they are just finding creases in the interior of that Oak Hill defensive line, and they're exploiting them. And Oak Hill's having a lot of trouble stopping that run game right now.
So much so I think Oak Hill's taking a timeout to talk about it.
Yeah, that's probably a good timeout, too. They gotta get their run fits in order here, and they knew this was coming. When I talked to Brad, he told me, he said, we kind of figured they're going to try to pound us with that double wing set. So it's not anything that they didn't know was coming. It's not anything that you haven't seen on film, but it's one thing to see it on film. It's another thing to get out there when you have, these big kids, these 300-pounders moving you, and you're also trying to, decipher who's got the ball with all that misdirection in the backfield. This is an old offense. There's no doubt about it. You're not going to see this offense run on Saturdays and Sundays, but it can still be a very effective offense, especially, if you run it correctly and you're efficient in what you're doing and execute. And that's really what Beckley's doing right now. They got Oak Hill on skates.
Not only that, but we talked about it a lot last year when they came into Oak Hill and they were running in multiple formations. They're doing that again tonight. They're not just staying in that double wing set. They're spreading it out. And when they break that hold, you really don't know what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them already. They'll go 3 or 4 wide, then we'll see them getting an I formation, then we'll see them getting that double wing set. So Beckley gives you a lot to prepare for from a formational standpoint. And again, I'm seeing Oak Hill, Kate Compton and Andres Johnson are running in late here as the ball's being snapped.
Handoff going up the middle. It's a good stop on the inside.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Oak Hill's having trouble getting guys lined up. I mean, that's 2 or 3 times as the ball's being snapped, and they're going tempo here that Oak Hill is just getting guys in position.
Handoff once again going up the middle, and again Oak Hill is there, but we'll see if Beckley wants to keep going up tempo. That's a savvy coaching staff over there. They know what they're doing.
We've seen better run fits for Oak Hill each of the last 2 plays, though, so maybe that timeout paid dividends. But again, we're seeing Beckley go tempo here.
Handoff once again.
Carson
and another
Treadway.
great tackle there from Carson.
Nice
And that's going to set
play.
up 4th down here for Beckley.
So the timeout did pay dividends as Oak Hill's looked a lot better those last 3 run plays. And it looks like Beckley's going to go with their jet set now as they're making some substitutions. So I think it looks like they're probably going to spread it out here and get out of that double wing set. And Oak Hill's trying to match them as Jeremy Lewis checks out. You get an extra defensive back, Antoine Hicks, that is checked in over here at this short corner position as Beckley's going 4 wide.
On a 4th down and 6.
Now the middle of the field's wide open. There's no safety in the middle of the field. Nice
that pass
job.
is tipped at the line and incomplete, and Oak Hill gets the stop.
And again, man, that was Carson Treadway who came in like a rocket off that defensive end position. That's 2 times that we've seen him disrupt. He's not getting a sack, but he's been able to disrupt Gage Burdeck just as he was releasing the ball, and he's the one that got his hands on that football. It's a really nice job from the junior that time.
So
And I hate to interrupt you, Lucas, but yeah, nice job from Oak Hill after the turnover and then a disjointed start on defense. They were able to bow up after that timeout from Coach Marion. So that was a very effective timeout.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Chris.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No,
my
you're
man.
good. No, you're good. I'd rather hear you talk than me. Here we go. Handoff going up to Compton. He's going to get a couple there, but not much.
Now, I mentioned, Jamarcus Mann came up with the ball. He said he stripped it. The ref saying they'd already blown it dead, though. I mentioned in Oak Hill's defensive possession, they didn't have a safety back. The middle field was open. Beckley didn't either that time. There was no safety back, so, the middle of the field's open. If you want to take a shot on a vertical or a post pattern, in that particular formation Beckley was in, it was there as they had their safety walked up to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they're doing right here. A.J. Thomas, number 5, is that safety. And again, there's no safety in the middle of the field. He's going over there with the slot. And Beckley showing blitz here. Linebackers are creeping up.
Against a 2-back set for Oak Hill. Handoff going to Carson Treadway. Carson trying to bounce to the outside. He's going to lose about 3 yards there and make it 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Carson saw the linebackers up in that in those A gaps, so he thought he might have a little more room out there to bounce it outside. But Preston Cleary came up from his corner position and really supported the run well that time. There was nothing doing, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and long here for Oak Hill at their own 35-yard line. 36 or 35, yeah.
They're going to rule this as 3rd down and 10, so they're giving Oak Hill an extra yard than what I was giving them.
But Beckley was very aggressive walking their linebackers up that time in those A gaps.
Ball on 35, and your line again is the 46. They'll bring a man in motion across the formation. Antoine drops the throw, rolls out to his right. He'll throw it back across the middle of the field. That pass is caught!
That was an unbelievable catch from Owen Gross. But I got to tell you, Antoine, that's a really dangerous pass.
Yes,
That's twice that he's really kind of thrown the ball very late. Now, he got bailed out that time with a terrific catch by Owen Gross. But if you're Devon Marion, you bring him over and you got to make a decision a little quicker than that. That's a really dangerous pass, but he got away with it that time.
And Oak Hill perhaps improbably moves the chains on 3rd down. As Owen again down here to the bottom of your screen. And the handoff. No, it's a screen out to Carson Treadway. Treadway cutting it back across the 50. He'll get to the 45-40. He'll cross the 40 down to the 35-yard line. Oak Hill on the move.
Lucas, do you see why they need to try to get the ball in Carson's hands?
Yes.
Because, honestly, that play was bottled up. Beckley had that defended really well, and Carson just made that play. That was all Carson Treadway right there. Now, again, we saw earlier when they motioned Treadway out of the backfield in that pistol set, they gave it a little inside handoff to Cade Compton. That time they faked the handoff and threw it out to Carson. So, again, it's play calling sequences. They're building off other plays, and I like that. But that was all Carson Treadway right there. Really nice individual effort from him.
1st and 10 Oak Hill from the Woodrow 35-yard line. Trips formation to the near side. And the handoff goes to Compton. He's going to cross the 30 and put his head down and get near the 25.
Yeah, nice little inside give that time. And again, Oak Hill's giving Beckley a lot to think about too. They're showing their own misdirection, not out of that, that old-fashioned double wing set, but they're showing Beckley a lot of looks themselves. They're running play action fakes off that handoff, and then they'll show the same action and then go ahead and give it to Cade. So they're giving Beckley some eye candy too, just like Beckley's giving them when they have the ball.
And so go 2 receivers to each side with a single back in the backfield. Bring Owen in motion across in the backfield. They'll swing it out to him. Owen Gross taking it to the 25-20, putting his head down and getting near the 18-yard line.
Now, again, that's a play that Oak Hill is just, they've run that the last couple of weeks, but we hadn't seen that the first 5 weeks of the year. Well, they'll bring a receiver in motion behind the formation and then just swing him out, the pass out to him in the flat there. And we've seen they did it with Caleb Compton a couple of weeks ago, and that time they did it with Owen and got a nice little first down out of it.
1st and 10 here for Oak Hill. Line to gain is the 9. Bring Owen in motion across the formation. Handoff. And this time they're all over it.
Yeah, Beckley was all over it. They ran a 4-man front, but they had a linebacker who was right in that A gap on a run blitz that time. So Beckley was definitely in on that inside give that time. Nice shot from the interior of that Flying Eagle defense that time.
Still 2nd and 10. They'll move it back about a half yard to the 19.5.
Now, what we haven't seen yet is they haven't run a jet sweep with Carson. They'll do that, too. They'll bring Carson in motion, run a jet sweep. We haven't seen that yet, but that's definitely in their arsenal. And they did that with some success against South Charleston last week.
And a whistle here and a timeout by Oak Hill. That's their 2nd of the half. Ahead of a big 2nd down.
Yeah, and again, you want to make sure you're buttoned up down here. This is a big drive. You have it inside the red zone. You're trying to tie the game. So you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So, again, that's probably another good timeout from Devon Marion. And that first timeout, defensively, they certainly came out and it paid some dividends. So let's see if this one does too.
Let's see indeed.
But again, Lucas, we talked about it's been definitely a game of momentum, and every time it looks like one team has got the momentum, they'll lose it quickly. And when Beckley got that interception up 14-7, you're thinking, man, here we go. They might be going up 2 scores here, and Oak Hill's able to bow up, and now they have their own nice drive going.
And that drive is set to resume here. But just coming in from handing out candy, you turned into a pretty darn good football game. It's been interesting to say the very least.
I bet my wife is thawing out right now.
She is. You will be later.
Yeah, I will be later.
Here's the snap. Antoine drops to throw. Has all day. Rolls out to his right. Has a man. It's caught. That's Carson. He'll get near a first down. In fact, I think he will dive and get a first down across the 9-yard line.
Now, that was a really nice patient job by Antoine that time. He held onto the ball, but then he saw Carson break open late. Now, that was a good catch because Antoine threw that ball low and hard, and Carson had to go down around his knees to catch out with his hands. On a cold night like this, that's tough to do. So that's a really nice catch by Carson Treadway, and that moves the sticks. In fact, it's a goal-to-go situation right now.
Goal to go with 4:49 in the half.
Here come those linebackers again.
Antoine having to roll out, and he's going to evade a sack. I don't know how he did, but he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and be darn lucky to do so.
That's the most exciting 0-yard gain you'll ever see. But, yeah, Beckley, now that they have their backs against the wall, they're bringing those linebackers up, and they brought both of them right up there in the interior that time. And Antoine faked the give and was trying to get outside, but Beckley had the receivers covered up, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from the 8 now.
2nd and goal from the 8 as we approach the 4-minute mark in quarter number 2, a.k.a. half number 1.
As Antoine is going all the way over to the sideline, a lot of times you see, quarterbacks will have wristbands on.
That might be a timeout here, Chris. They're down to 4 in the play clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to take their last time out. Yeah, they sure are. As you saw Antoine, he went all the way over to the sideline to talk to Devon Marion to get that play that time. And he was very late getting back to the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, you're right. Oak Hill had to burn their final time out there.
On a 25-second play clock, that's really hard to do.
Well, you don't see that as much anymore either. Back in the day, back when I played, we had players that would alternate at different positions to bring the play in, like either at guard or split end or something. Now you see, quarterbacks will have wristbands and they'll look over the sidelines and get the play from signals. But that time you saw Antoine Hicks actually over there talking to Devon Marion, and then he was trying to run from the far sideline back over here to the left hash to get there, and he was just late getting back to the line of scrimmage. They had to burn that last time out.
That was going to be my point. Like, it's an underrated part of that, but it's on the far hash from his sideline. If that's on the near hash, it's not quite as bad. But going across the field, that only added to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so unfortunately you had to burn that last time out, but you didn't want to back up there on a crucial 2nd and goal here. So
no.
You got to do what you got to do there.
From here on out, everything's got to be buttoned up. There's no more bailouts.
No, that's a good point. That's true. So watch out here. Watch maybe for as they're going bunch set tight to the formation either side. Maybe watch for a jet sweep here. There it is.
Z's got it. He's going to cut back. And if he gained a yard, okay, they blew it dead at like the 10. I was going to say, I didn't hear a whistle. But he just kept falling back. I thought they were going to stop him. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 10.
Yeah, and he's going to have to come out of the game as his helmet popped off there. When you see Oak Hill getting those twin bunch sets tight to the formation, a lot of times you'll see a jet sweep out of that. And that time Beckley was ready for it. So it brings up a big 3rd down here from the 10-yard line. As Caleb Compton has checked in for Z, who had to come out with that helmet coming off. You got Carson out here by himself, lined up to the left. That's man-to-man tight coverage over there, too.
When Gross goes in motion that way, Antoine looks that way to throw it. Pass is caught. Gross is going to be near the goal line, but not quite. It's a big 4th down and goal here for Oak Hill.
So nice job by Antoine to find him. You had Carson running a flag route into the end zone, maybe trying to clear out a safety, and then Owen came in behind him. Nice ball by Antoine. Beckley was able to get the tackle, though, short of the end zone. So that's going to bring up a big 4th and goal here from the 3. And let's see what Devon Marion draws up. This is a big play for Oak Hill.
It's a huge play in the game as we're down to 2:17 in the half. Oak Hill trying to respond after Woodrow took the lead rather quickly last possession. Maybe setting up for another jet sweep. No, they'll roll Antoine out. He's going to throw it. That pass is incomplete. I don't know how they got rid of it, but he did. And Woodrow gets the stop with 1:59 in the half.
Yeah, I don't know how he got rid of it either. And the thing is, he almost was able to complete that to K. Compton out there, which would have been a touchdown. He showed a lot of strength because he was able to throw that with Gage Burdett wrapped all over him. But that's a big stop for the Flying Eagles as they were able to keep Oak Hill out of the end zone and maintain that 14-7 lead here with under 2 to go.
And Chris, I don't think Woodrow had to burn a timeout yet. So they've got a minute 59 and presumably all 3 timeouts. They're in business.
Well, they do have all 3 timeouts. They got a long field to go, but yeah, you're right. They have their whole playbook open to them. As I see Jeremy Lewis again running on late, as I think they're anticipating this double wing jumbo package from Oak Hill. So they bring in an extra defensive lineman. That is what Beckley's in right here. Actually, that's an I formation, all that tight formation. And
Oak Hill does a really good job to button that up.
Really nice job. So we've seen some better run fits from Oak Hill after that timeout, and they've stymied that Beckley ground game the last few plays. But again, like you mentioned with the timeouts here, don't be surprised if maybe you see Beckley getting that jumbo package and run a little play action pass. They tried that earlier in the game. That's when they had that pass interference called when Caleb Compton down there where they tried to play action pass out of that jumbo formation.
I know they've got timeouts, Chris, but they've let 20 seconds roll off that play clock. I'm not so sure Chad Surratt isn't going to play it a little bit safe here.
There was a fumble, actually. And Price was able to get out of there. They're lucky. That was very fortunate for Beckley. That could have been a disaster, but Price was able to actually corral the ball and then get nice yardage out of it. That's going to bring up a 3rd and short. And, yeah, I don't think – so, actually, Chad Surratt is going to take a timeout here.
Okay, so make a fool out of me.
Well, I think after that first down play where they didn't get anything, I think he's probably looking to see, how each play is playing out.
Right.
Then he's making the decision from there. So then you get a nice gain there, right there, and it's 3rd and 3, and you think, okay, I'll burn a timeout here, see if I can move the sticks and see if we can get something out of here.
It's a big 3rd down and 3 here from the 10-yard line, lined against the 13.
I'll be surprised if Beckley puts it up. I would expect Beckley to keep this on the ground, though, because what Chad Surratt doesn't want to do is throw an incomplete pass, stop the clock deep in your own territory, and now you give maybe Oak Hill a chance to get their own score. So,
or even worse, interception.
Yeah, so if I'm Oak Hill, I'm looking for Beckley to keep this on the ground here. Jeremy Lewis checks out, and Antoine Hicks checks back in. As again, they go a little smaller with an extra defensive back. Beckley staying with that double wing. You got Preston Cleary as a lone split in out there to the left.
They'll pitch it. Cutting back into the middle of the field, now getting toward the edge. That's a really good job to get the stopper that will move the chains for Beckley.
Yeah, they were looking to run a trick play that time. Burdett was looking to throw the football. Oak Hill had it covered up. Nice job by James Ludwig to get out there. Really athletic play. He was able to run him down and keep him from turning the corner too much. But you're right, that was a 1st down. And again, back it up this far, though, I don't think Chad Surratt's going to be in a big hurry here.
I should think not.
Well,
he's going to
take a timeout, though. He's going to talk about it anyway.
43 seconds. So that does indeed make things look. That will leave him with 1 for the last 43 seconds of the half.
Yeah, and I was saying I didn't think they were going to throw the ball. And they, we're going to run a trick play right there, which actually, to be honest with you, I don't hate that call. I really don't,
no.
Because he was probably reading my mind, thinking they probably think I'm going to run it. So you run a trick play, but Oak Hill showed good discipline there on the back end and the secondary to have it covered up, but Burdett was athletic enough to, switch, change field and get enough for a 1st down here. But, so yeah, 46 seconds left, and Beckley's down to 1 timeout. I'm thinking they're probably going to play this safe, though. They have a 1-score lead. You don't want any big mistakes back here deep in your own territory.
No, not when Oak Hill gets the ball to begin the second half, too, so you really don't want Oak Hill to have a chance to double up.
Yeah, you don't want to give them a 2-for-1 opportunity. Now, we say all that, and they'll probably run 4 verticals.
You're probably right.
They're spread out here,
They're setting up for it.
And they empty the backfield.
That's going to be swung out wide. Is that Cleary out there?
That's Cleary. And that's twice they've swung it out to Cleary on that little screen pass, and Oak Hill hasn't done a great job defending that. I saw Jagger Knox trying to get out there from his outside linebacker position, but he was a little late closing out.
He got out of bounds too, saved this team a timeout.
That's a really good point, and that's a heads-up play from the senior Preston Cleary. You're right, he does save him a timeout, gets a gain of 12, and the little further out that you get from your own goal line, the little more aggressive that you can think about being now.
40 seconds even on the clock.
Oak Hill's got 2 safeties back. Luke Endicott and Zeke Lewis is playing a 2-high safety look.
The roll, Price out to the right. That pass is caught. What a hit there, Mantuan. They'll knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, nice job.
And the flag comes in very late.
I don't know what the flag is. We'll see here. I'm thinking there was some jawing. Antoine did put a nice hit on him. It looks like he put a nice hit on him and just ran back, but I don't know. We'll see. I think Beckley's backing up, so. Oh. Okay, I didn't see any of that, so that negates that.
Jamarcus Mann's got too far downfield.
Yeah, and he's too big. They'll catch him every time. He's a really impressive-looking player. Probably Beckley's best overall lineman, number 71 there, but got downfield that time, and that negates the play. 34 seconds left. Now Beckley looking at it 1st and 15. And it looks like Oak Hill's going to stay in that 2 high safety look with Luke Endicott and Z. Lewis back there.
And already 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Beckley's going to have to hurry here, down to 5. Snap is back. They'll just hand it off. Go on to Burdette. Burdette's going to cut up ahead, be close to the first down marker.
Yeah, Carson Treadway was, after he initially was rushing the passer, he was able to get back and make that tackle downfield. And it looks like Beckley's going to maybe save. No, the clock is stopped.
Yeah, that should not have been.
Well, now it's ticking, but it did stop.
Yeah.
It did stop momentarily.
I thought they were going to give him a first down
I thought they were too, but now
they stopped it.
Now they're finally going to take their last
okay.
time out.
We'll see if they put time back on here. They might have to. As of right now, it's 17 seconds on the game clock.
Well, they put 1 second on it, yeah. I think Surratt was a little unsure what he wanted to do there. He brought Price over to the sideline, and initially I thought he had called a timeout there, but then he sent Price back onto the field, and then he decided after he sent him back onto the field to call the timeout. So they did waste a few seconds right there before they finally got that timeout. But Oak Hill's got to be careful here. You know, they got the ball out now at the 37-yard line, so you can definitely be aggressive here. I think Oak Hill's going to stick with that 2 high safety look, so you don't want to let anything get behind you here. Now, Beckley is out of timeouts, though.
So the middle of the field almost evaporates for Beckley right now.
Yeah, you don't want anything to get behind. You know, those safeties have to be careful. They don't want to have anything get behind them here. And they're going back to that double wing look.
And a flag comes in on the back end. Actually, 2 flags down.
Red ball, false start, offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty.
They got Ben Fitzwater, number 60 there for Beckley on a false start.
Boy, they've had a lot of those tonight, too. You don't see as many of those later in the season as you do in the beginning of the season.
No.
But, man, Beckley's had several of those false start penalties here tonight.
And they'll go to that and they'll hand it off to Javonte Wines. Wines is going to get out of bounds here with 11 seconds left.
Yeah, this is the half that just won't end.
No, it will not.
And I think we're going to get a flag on Braden Knight.
Way behind the play,
behind the play. As he was jawing with Eliza Pittman. And you saw the Beckley players throw their hands up like that's got to be a flag, and then they talked the ref into it. Man, you just got to be a little bit smarter than that. And I will say Oak Hill, they've had too many of those.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 73, Oak Hill.
There's no need for that, and it opens up a door you don't need to open. You know, it opens up a door you don't need to open for them. And now all of a sudden you move them up 15 yards, and there's still 11 seconds left, and they're going to make Braden come over here and have a talk with him. But yeah, just no call for that. And Lucas, all of a sudden now, man, you have a chance of and there's another flag. Oh my God. And I think this might be on Jagger Knox. And there's just no call for this. And Oak Hill's got to be smarter than this. And I've seen it too much out of them this year. I just have. I mean, sometimes you just got to learn when to shut your mouth. And you're just hurting your team. Now, I mean, you've put them in field goal position.
Yeah.
Another flag on the play.
That's 30 yards worth of penalties just because you can't shut up. And there's just no call for that, man. You're just hurting your team.
11 seconds. Who knows what's going to
Yeah, I mean,
now
you can definitely take a shot at the end zone from this spot. And Beckley always has a good kicker, so I wouldn't be surprised. You could bring him on here and try a field goal if you wanted to. And just, man, that stuff drives me crazy.
That's what loses games.
Yes, that is what will lose football games for you. Absolutely. You got to be more disciplined than that.
Especially in a rivalry game where it's always close. Beckley's in that tight formation once again.
Yeah, they're going to throw out of that. Be careful here.
That pass is caught. Touchdown, Beckley.
Well, Oak Hill can thank themselves for that.
And a flag comes in behind the play again.
They gave them 30 yards in penalties that time. And I kind of figured that when I saw them getting that double wing formation, I thought they're going to throw a pass out of that. They're going to try to catch Oak Hill with their pants down, showing a run formation, but then throwing a pass. And they did. They threw it to A.J. Thomas in the end zone. And he was open, but that's a brutal way. I mean, Beckley took over at the 3-yard line with under 2 minutes left, and they turned that into a 97-yard drive. 30 yards, Oak Hill gave them on penalties.
Woodrow Wilson, number 5, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So they get Woodrow for an unsportsmanlike on the back end of that. Surprise, surprise, it's an unsportsmanlike fest out here tonight.
Yeah.
But it's 20-7, just like this, with 4 seconds to go in the half.
That's a real gut punch for Oak Hill, though, to end the half like that. Because you're thinking, and there was a couple times I think that Beckley looks like they're almost content just to let it go into the half, and Oak Hill just wouldn't let them. They just wouldn't let them, and now you're going to go in down 2 scores. And a big part of that was 30 yards in penalties on back-to-back unsportsmanlike. And Oak Hill's just got to be more disciplined than that. They just have to be more disciplined than that. Can't do that.
Can't do it. So Oak Hill will get a kickoff that will be 15 yards further up due to the penalty. With 4 seconds to go, you'd have to think this will be the last action of the first half. Barring a penalty, and I'm sorry I jinxed it, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, we've seen enough of those in the first half, that's for sure. We had 3 flags before the ball had been snapped. And it's held true to form as the first half has progressed. There's just been flag after flag after flag on both teams. But that was a really tough defensive series for Oak Hill and a 97-yard drive for Beckley to end this first half to go up 2 scores. And Oak Hill's going to have to get in the locker room and regroup after that.
Good luck to the volleyball team as they go into regionals, and good luck to our band as they travel to Marshall University tomorrow.
So, all right, we're coming up on the kickoff as it'll be back at the 25-yard line. Kickoff is on the ground and will be fielded, and that should be the last play of the half. As the horn sounds right as the tackle is being made. So Oak Hill will indeed go into the halftime locker room down 21-7. We'll come back with the second half after this on the New River Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field, the Oak Hill Marching Red Devils. The Oak Hill Marching Red Devils are under the direction of Mr. Travis Myers. Drum majors Ava Pomeroy and Jaden Mullins. Is your band ready? You may take the field. one last round of applause for the Oak Hill Marching Red Devils under the direction of Mr. Travis Miners. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your 2025 Beckley Dance Team with freshmen Eva Atkins, Ella Allman, Avery Gerald, Skylan Gerald, and Marissa Walter. Sophomores, Mackenzie Engel and Maylee Howe. Juniors, Emily Atkins, Kendall Ford, Caitlin Leffler, and Lily Rolls. And our seniors, taking the field for the last time on the dance team, Allison Bates, Malia Harbin, Cameron Harris, Kenley Price, Lexi Thomas, Ariana Wade, and Caroline Webb. Round of applause for our Beckley Dance Team. Tonight, the band will be performing their 2020 directly after the game as a post-game show. We invite everyone to please stay and cheer on the street one final time. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. In just a moment, I'd like to introduce the Beckley cheerleaders.
I need a blanket. We're back here on the Nerva Network. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you as we are at the obligatory 3 minutes added on to an already 20-minute-long halftime. It is 21-7. Woodrow Wilson has a lead over Oak Hill, and Chris, Oak Hill gets the ball here to begin the second half. And if there was ever a gotta-have-it drive, it feels like this is it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they went in the locker room and regrouped, because the way they ended that first half was, just brutal. They couldn't punch it in on their own goal-to-go situation here, and Beckley got the ball back with under 2 minutes left, starting at their own 3-yard line, and you're thinking, okay, well, they didn't score. We're going to go in down one score. And then Beckley goes 97 yards, but a lot of it was aided by back-to-back unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on Oak Hill. So they gave him 30 yards in penalties. So just a terrible way to end that first half for Oak Hill. And they were late getting out here in the second half. Beckley's already been out here for a few minutes getting warmed back up. Oak Hill is just now getting back out on the field trying to get stretched out a little bit. But, if you're Devon Marion, you got to go in there and, maybe chew them a little bit, but then get them regrouped and say, okay, we have another whole half of football to get back in this game. And like you said, they get the ball to start the second half, and they really need to take it down here and score and get back into it.
Now, there was some talk up here in the press box at halftime amongst our group here about whether or not there was an ejection for Oak Hill, and we think the Braden Knight, we're going to look to see if he comes out here for the second half. We don't know this yet, but we're keeping an eye out on it. If so, that would be a very big development for Oak Hill if he's out the rest of this game.
No, that would be a huge development. Yeah, he got the unsportsmanlike. If he was ejected, they didn't announce it, but a couple weeks ago they ejected Z Lewis and never announced it either. So we'll see. Yeah, if he doesn't play, then that's obviously a big loss for Oak Hill, and that would stink for the Red Devils. So we'll see if he comes out here in the second half. I didn't see him get ejected, but Robert Pauley said he thought that he saw the ref thumb him out of the game, but we'll see. But either way, it was a big penalty against Braden, and then Jagger Knox followed it up before they even snapped the ball, jawing off again. He got his own penalty, and that's what eventually led to the Beckley touchdown.
Let's get in here to X's and O's a little bit. For Oak Hill, what do you want to see in this opening drive here? Like I said, it feels like if there was ever a gotta-have-it drive in this game, this is it. Might be one of many in the second half, but it feels like it's it. What do you want to see? What did you see that you thought was really working for Oak Hill in that first half?
I would try to get the ball back in Carson Treadway's hands, whether you're throwing it to him or running him on a jet sweep or lining him up in the backfield. I would try to get the ball in his hands. When the few times that they did in the first half, he made plays, just like he made plays last week against South Charleston. So I would try to force feed him the ball a little bit here in the second half. And then defensively, man, you just got to get buttoned up on some of the run fits. Beckley caught him with their pants down on the last play of that first half. They got in that double wing set. And they threw the ball, and I think if you're Oak Hill, you had to know they were probably going to throw the ball because there was only 11 seconds left, and they didn't have a timeout. But yet Oak Hill was still caught by surprise by it. So Oak Hill just has to get some things ironed out here and try to climb back in this football game.
And the great thing is they have a half to do it. 24 minutes of ball here, and Oak Hill will have their opportunities, no doubt. And they've had the pre-second half meeting between the captains and the officials. And I would have to expect that somewhere in that meeting where the officials were going, okay, fellas, let's keep it clean in the second half.
There were a ton of flags in that first half on both teams. I mean, even though Beckley's up 21-7, I mean, Beckley had 2 unsportsmanlike themselves after a couple of touchdowns. They had 4 or 5 false starts. So, I mean, if you're Chad Surratt, you still had a lot of coachable, teachable moments yourself there in the locker room at halftime, and just a very ugly first half. A lot of penalties for both teams.
So we'll see how the second half plays out here, as again Oak Hill will get the ball to begin the second half. As Chris joins us, we didn't get a chance to highlight it. Chris is actually amongst the people. He is a man of the people amongst his people.
It's funny, Lucas, in the first half, I didn't get that cold, and I came up there at halftime, and I'm out here, and my teeth are chattering already. I don't know if I'm going to last the whole second half out here. I might have to come up in the press box with you guys. It's a crowded window up there. I can definitely see the field better from where I'm out here, but yeah, it seemed like the temperature dropped 10 degrees in the 15 minutes I was in the press box.
Funny how that happens now, isn't it?
Yeah. it does feel colder.
All right, here we go. Half number 2 underway. For Chris's sake, it'll go by like nothing. Here we go. Returned out. Pretty good return and still going. To the 40, 45, just about the 44, and that's the start Oak Hill needed to begin the second half. Big
start, yeah, nice return from Z. Lewis. And I'll tell you what, Braden Knight is not coming out there, so I think Robert Pauley might have been on that. As Jeremy Lewis has checked into the game, Braden Knight is not in there, so he may have been ejected. They didn't announce it, and I'm not seeing him on the sideline either. So I have to think at this point.
Score 1 for Robert.
Yeah, Robert Pauley was right. They thumbed him out of the game, and Braden Knight's out, and that means he'll have to miss next week too.
Oak Hill regular season conclusion against North Marion, but let's get to that one after this one. Snap is back. It's a screen out to Owen
Good
Gross.
block.
Owen will take that. Got a good block, and he'll get a first down. He made a pretty good catch, too. That was a little in front of him.
It was a little in front of him, but you want to screen past to lead him out there, but you got a good block out there from Z. Lewis. And that's what you want a screen to do, though. You want Owen to catch it as he's and leading downfield a little bit, so his momentum's taking him. So that's a nice start for Oak Hill.
Ball will be resting at the 46-yard line of Woodrow Wilson. 3 receivers to our near side, 1 out to the left. Woodrow brings pressure off that right edge. Antoine spins out of it. He'll get a good chunk of yardage there as he escapes.
Man, he made something out of nothing there. That looked like it was going to be a 5 or 6 yard loss, and ends up being a 5 or 6 yard gain. As Antoine, not the biggest kid in the world, but showed good strength to break out of that tackle and make something out of nothing for Oak Hill.
He nearly pulled off something with his strength in the first half as he was going down, was in the arms of a Woodrow defender, showed his strength and got the pass off and just about completed it in the end zone.
He sure did. Yeah, he sure did.
Three receivers once again.
Here comes blitz.
He got rid of it out to Owen Gross. Owen will cross the 30. Going to the 20, 15, 10. Inside the 5. He's in.
Yes, sir.
Touchdown, Oak Hill.
And that, you couldn't have asked for a better start for Oak Hill to start this second half. And nice job from Antoine Hicks as that Beckley brought the blitz. Both linebackers blitzed that time. Antoine stood in there and hit Owen just on a little shallow cross across the middle. And Owen Gross did that all on his own after taking that pass, man. Outran the defenders to the end zone. Nice job. Great start for Oak Hill.
Fantastic start. It's 21-13 with the extra point pending here. And before you know it, this could be, well, it is a one-score game.
Yeah, absolutely.
As they're looking around, okay, we found our extra man. With 10 seconds on the play clock, we got to go, fellas. High snap, but it's handled and it's blocked.
Gosh.
And it's no good.
I've seen Oak Hill have more extra points blocked. They just have a lot of trouble in that kicking game. They just can't get things figured out with the protection and just have a lot of trouble in that kicking game. And we've seen several extra points blocked this year. Saw a field goal blocked against Herc a couple weeks ago that was actually taken back for a touchdown.
Yeah. So at 10:32 to go in quarter number 3, it is 21-13. Woodrow Wilson has the lead. We might be looking back on that extra point, Chris, at the end of this game and thinking, man, that's important.
Yeah, we could be. We'll see if that ends up being a big deal or not. But, still a really nice start for Oak Hill.
Yes.
Having that extra point blocked stymies it a little bit, but just a great start for Oak Hill out of the locker room. We'll see if they can get a defensive stop here.
So we'll get a chance to see Woodrow's offense for the first time here tonight. In the second half, that is. And that will be taken back.
Nice job
How about
by
James Ludwig?
You got a hold of him. He wouldn't let go. Slammed him to the turf.
And Carson Treadway was in there to finish the job.
Yeah, nice job from Oak Hill on the kick coverage that time. After we saw Gage Burdett get a big return in the first half, a lot better job on the kick coverage that time. So with Braden Knight out offensively and defense, we're going to see a lot of number 51, Jeremy Lewis, getting a lot more clock here. And he's going to have to hold up against that stout Beckley run game and that big Beckley offensive line.
Snap is back. Flag comes in as they'll try to get it out wide. Gage Burdett was on the carry, and we'll see what this laundry's all about.
You have to think that's probably a hole when you see that flag come in right in there in the interior of the line.
If indeed it is, after Oak Hill went right down the field in a minute and a half and scored now a penalty on the opening drive, that's exact.
Chop block. That's a big one.
That's the exact opposite of what Chad Surratt wanted to begin the half.
Yeah, chop block. That's a big one. So that'll bring play first down, but that's a 1st and 25 now.
They'll move it back to the 19. First down, 25. And they'll hand the ball off once again. That's Burdett trying to get to the outside. He will cross the 20 and get near the 25. So it'll be a good chunk of yardage here on first down to get to second. And still long, but a lot more manageable than 25.
A lot more manageable than 25. Yeah, you're right. That's a nice little first down run from Gage Burdett. You're right. It's going to still bring up a 2nd and 13, but after 1st and 25, you'll take a 2nd and 13.
Yeah. We talked about it a lot in the first half. Woodrow's not built to run from behind the chains, but it's an opportunity to get them in a situation they want to be in.
Well, they had a couple big passes against Oak Hill in the first half, so they had that passing game going a little bit.
They'll hand the ball off once again here. That's going to go for maybe a yard.
Carson Treadway and Big Derek Sullivan, number 70. Nice job right there in the interior of the line. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 10, and Oak Hill really needs to get off the field here and get the ball back. That'd be a great start here at the second half for the Devils.
That's homecoming king Derek Sullivan to you.
That's right. Homecoming king who beat out the quarterback.
Yeah, you never see that.
Yeah, he's kind of my hero a little bit. I got a couple heroes out there. Derek Sullivan was the homecoming king, and then James Ludwig as a lineman took a fumble back 90 yards last week against South Charleston. Brought a tear to my eye almost. That was my dream.
Snap is back. It's a pass as Price rolls out to his right. That pass is... Did he catch that?
No, he almost did. No, but he couldn't hold on to it. That's going to bring up a 4th down as Luke Endicott was there on the coverage, and that was Preston Cleary. He almost made a circus catch. But that's a nice defensive stop for Oak Hill. It's going to force Beckley's first punt of the game. And Oak Hill should get the ball back here in pretty decent field position as Carson Treadway is going to be back to receive this.
Is this the first punt of the game, Chris?
It is the first punt of the game because we've had turnovers and teams going for it and drives that ended in score. So this is the first punt of the game for either team.
Welcome to Oak Hill Woodrow. Weird things happen when these two get together. Here's the kick. It's a really good one. And that'll be allowed to take a Beckley roll. And just falling on there. I don't know about that one. That's a fumble.
No, they're saying he's down. Ref was very emphatic that Carson was down. It was dangerous to pick it up because he decided to field out with the Beckley defender right in his face.
If he didn't feel his breath, I'd have been surprised.
Yeah, he was right in his face, but the ref said he was down, and Oak Hill will take over here at their own 21-yard line. But that was a pretty good punt for Beckley.
It really was.
Let's see if Oak Hill can keep that momentum going here with their second drive of the second half, though.
Let's see if they can. They'll take over with 8:28 in the third quarter. Screen out here, trying to go to Z. That pass falls incomplete.
Well, you let him a little too much that time. And I think the play was there. When they came out in that formation, Beckley really didn't have anybody lined up on the slot over there on Z. And I think if he puts a good ball on him, that might go somewhere for Oak Hill.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 10 here with 8:26 on the third quarter clock.
You seen Carson in motion there. They're going to give that little inside give to Cade.
And Cade will get stopped right there for a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, didn't have a lot going right there, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Oak Hill. Now, in the first half when they did that, when they motioned Carson out of the backfield and they had that little inside give to Cade, they had a big gain out of it, but Beckley did a lot better job that time of stopping it.
So we roll now down to 7:57. Third quarter, 3rd down and 9. Big 3rd down and 9 here for both sides.
Again, there's nobody really on this slot out here.
And the whistles are out. Timeout taken by the Red Devils.
So when they're going to that trips formation out here, Lucas, Z. Lewis is lined out here in the slot, and Beckley really doesn't seem to have a man committed to him. So I'm interested to see if Oak Hill coaches are seeing it or if I'm just seeing something wrong. But it looks like that if they maybe wanted to run a vertical or something with Z out of that slot, it might be there. Because the free safety, who's A.J. Thomas, is lined up much more to the middle of the field. And if Z runs a vertical or a post out of that slot, I don't know if A.J. Thomas can get over enough to help. So that's an interesting alignment Beckley has against that Oak Hill formation. So they're in that same look.
And you're right, there's no one really there.
If they run a vertical, I think it's there.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
False start.
False start.
Was that flag thrown? There's a flag now. That ball's on the ground. Comes out. So what on earth are we to unpack here?
I don't know how they missed the false start on O'Kill, for one. I think everybody else in the stand saw it. They didn't call it. That's probably going to be a hold or something, though, on O'Kill.
Holding, offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty.
It's going to be on the right tackle, James Ludwig. So they're going to push him back and make him redo that third down. That's going to put O'Kill on the third and very long here. Chad Surratt's trying to get as much field position as he can.
Snap is back to Antoine. He'll drop to throw. That pass is incomplete.
Well, I mean, they did what I said. But if Antoine just put a little too much air under the ball and hung it up, but if that's a little better pass and he leads him and he maybe lets it, that's there. And I don't blame him for throwing it, but Antoine just kind of threw a balloon up there, and it actually allowed the defender that was on Carson Treadway to come over and make a play on the ball. But that's not a bad idea, the way Beckley's got that aligned. If you run a vertical with Z. Lewis, it can be there, but Antoine just threw kind of a pop fly to him.
Oak Hill's first punt is away sky high. And it's going to take a really good Red Devil roll, all things considered. And Woodrow will take over at about the 45.
We have another flag on the field here, Lucas. Let's see what this is.
Oh, indeed we do. That's at, what, the 25?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 4. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot.
So that helps Oak Hill even more, even though that wasn't a great punt after the bounce and then after the penalty. That's actually going to put Beckley on their own side of the 50. And they're going to start here on their own 45-yard line. I would actually, though, going back to that previous play, I might try to come back to that. And if Antoine can just put a little more zip on it and release it a little quicker, that might be there. 6-man front here for Oak Hill against this double wing buck.
They'll hand the ball off to Burdett. He's going to get about a yard or so.
Really good penetration by Carson Treadway. He didn't make the tackle, but he allowed Jagger Knox and Jeremy Lewis to come over and finish it off. But good penetration. Derek Sullivan had good penetration that time for Oak Hill as well. So better job from that Oak Hill front that time.
Be second down and 9 here for Beckley.
Again, they're staying in that 6-man front, and then bring Andres Johnson from the linebacker position up there too.
Some movement up front.
I don't know if they're both pointing at each other. Let's see who that's on. The refs are going to get together. Both.
I kind of feel like it's on Woodrow.
And you're right.
Hey, look at that. I'm 2 for 3 today.
That was in the backfield. That was number 20, Eliza Pittman, who got called for that false start. And Beckley's had a lot of those tonight. It puts them behind the sticks here, 2nd and 14.
Handoff going over to Javante Wines. Wines will get across the original line of scrimmage and be near first down yardage.
Yeah, just showing his speed that time. Brought him from that right wing position, ran him on a jet sweep. He picked up good yardage that time. And that's kind of been the story. Beckley will hurt themselves with penalties, but then it seems like they're, the next play they'll overcome it a little bit and put themselves in a a manageable situation, just like they are right here.
Reminds me of another rival team from Southern West Virginia, Princeton.
Princeton's really good at doing that.
Pitch.
Nice job by Carson Treadway. Really nice job by Treadway setting the edge over there from his left defensive end position. Held that to very little. Let's see what Beckley wants to do here. I think they're going to go for it. Well, let's see.
Oh, they're changing a bunch of folks out there.
No, I think they're going to bring in their punt team here. So they're going to trust their defense. They're 4th and 5 from the Oak Hill 49. I will say this is a place on the field.
I was going to say, what's the fake? Yeah.
This is a great place for a fake if you want to try it.
And Surratt's, he'll do that. They're going to play it straight up.
Want to boot that out of bounds. Let's see where the ref decides to mark it. That wasn't a great
He's going
kick.
to keep walking up, keep going, and he'll mark it out. He's still walking.
He's still walking.
He's still going. That's going to be at the 32-yard line. That's a lot better position we thought Oak Hill was going to get.
There's no bigger guess in sports than when a ref is trying to determine where the ball went out of bounds on a punt.
Yeah, you said it. You said
that is all guesswork. Anywhere he would have stopped walking, I couldn't have questioned it.
No.
If he would have walked to the 50, I would have said, oh, whatever.
Right.
There's no bigger guesswork in sports than that. So that worked out really well for Oak Hill.
Yeah, it really did. And so that ball, like I said, will be on the 32-yard line. He was 5:08 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, just a net 17-yard punt that time for Beckley.
17 yards.
Now they're in that two-back set with the back on either side of the quarterback, Antoine Hicks.
Bringing two men in motion at the same time, that's not allowed.
On the field.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of that with Oak Hill last week where they're trying some new stuff, but you saw a lot of illegal procedures. You saw a lot of formational penalties. And that time, like you said, they had two men moving at the snap of the ball. And just honestly, Lucas, kind of a sloppy game for both teams.
Yeah, that's
really
a good word.
This is the kind of, these are the kind of penalties you'd expect the first or second game of the year, but, not game 9.
Well, Chris, let me ask you just a kind of a, obviously we're not in either of these camps, but how much of that do you put on it's a rivalry? Woodrow hasn't lost to Oak Hill 3 times in, ever. They both want this game, and they're going the extra mile, and it sometimes costs them.
Maybe. I mean, you can make that argument.
They're going to screen pass out to Z, and he's not going to be able to get out of that. In fact, he's going to lose a couple of yards there, but a flag comes in.
We might have
a
face mask or something here, though, because I don't see what else that could have been.
I don't either. That might bail Oak Hill out.
That might bail Oak Hill out here because there was a host of Beckley defenders bringing Z to the ground, and that's when the flag came in. I don't know what else it could be.
Insert a rule neither of us have ever heard of.
But he's talking to Chad Surratt.
No foul. Face mask. Offense. Number 8.
Huh?
The penalty has been declined. Third down.
So I guess they called Z for, I guess he was trying to stiff arm. That is a very rare call.
Yeah.
Very rare call.
Got me.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. That's a very rare call to call an offensive face mask on the ball carrier, though.
In the middle of that.
And a scrum like that, too. Yeah, I agree.
Either way, Antoine drops to throw. He'll put that ball up. It's intercepted.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where Antoine was going with that. He just kind of threw that up for grabs. And that's the only, when he throws the ball downfield, he just has a lot of air under it.
At the 44-yard line. And another.
So that's the third turnover of the night for Oak Hill. Antoine's second interception. Now, the previous 2 turnovers, Oak Hill's actually been able to keep Woodrow out of the end zone, but that's living dangerously if you keep doing that.
Oh,
though.
yeah. Woodrow in that double wing set once again. No surprise there. Handoff comes in the middle. That's a really good play and going for more. Gage Burdett to the 20, 15, to the 10, inside the 5. Woodrow knocking on the door, making it a 2-score game once again.
And again, I'm seeing some activity behind the play. There's no flag But I saw Eliza Pittman grab a towel off of Carson Treadway and throw it in the air. Now, I think we're going to get a horse collar tackle on Jagger Knox down here.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense number 2.
It's not going to make that big a difference. It's just half a distance from the two. But again, Beckley was able to hit them with the big play out of that double wing set, and they're getting ready to go up 2 scores again here after that turnover.
So now you're seeing, I get a feeling, Chris, that, like you said, there was some action on the play. I get a feeling that was their second half, keep it together, fellas, warning. After that, we might start seeing some laundry again.
Yeah.
Here's the handoff.
No.
I don't think he got in.
Derek Sullivan and Jagger Knox that time. Nice play. Able to get some penetration and keep him out of the end zone there. So nice job that time from Derek Sullivan. I think he actually threw him for a little loss that time too. That throws it back to the 2-yard line. But O'Keel's got to do that 3 more times. As Tyler Kincaid, the center's checked in one of those defensive line positions here as they're in that big set again. QB sneak.
And he's in this time.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Beckley.
So Beckley finally cashes in on a turnover, and you can't keep giving them the ball like that. And O'Keel's able to keep them out after those first 2 turnovers, but not that time, and that extends it back out to a 2-score lead here for Beckley.
27-13 extra point upcoming. Trying to make it 28-13 in a 15-point ball game.
And again, like we mentioned, it's been punch, counter punch. Every time you think one team has got some momentum, the other team's able to get it back.
Extra point coming up here. Kick is up, kick's on the way. That kick is good. And Woodrow has a 2-score lead once again. It's 15 points, 28-13 with 3:36 to go in quarter number 3. Let's take a pause here and come back for the second part of this third quarter on the New River Network. We're back here on the New River Network. Lucas Berry and Chris Rader here with you as Oak is getting set to receive this kickoff after Woodrow converts on the turnover on points off turnover for the first time tonight and takes a 15-point lead, 28-13, 3:36 in quarter number 3.
Now, we've seen Oak Hill in this position before here a couple times here tonight, though, and they've been able to respond. And let's see if they have an answer drive in them here again.
And that kicks in the air. It'll be fielded just shy of the 10.
You got a big hole there.
You got a huge hole. To the 40, to the 50. Still going across the 40 to the 35-yard line. And, Chris, how about that return?
That's back-to-back big returns. Man, you could just see that from up here. That opened up like the Red Sea right in the middle of the field. Nolan Gross just hit that seam. Great return. And that was, Z. Lewis had a nice return to start the second half. That puts Oak Hill in great field position here at the Beckley 37 to start this drive.
That was a real big hole. You could run a freight train through there.
That was, you just saw it open up. You just saw that hole open up. So a big gap in that Beckley kick coverage defense that time.
Oak Hill in that loaded backfield look. Handoff goes to Carson Treadway. He's not going to get anything. They're going to blow it dead for no gain.
Yeah, that time they lined Carson Treadway up in that pistol formation right behind Antoine. And I like the idea. I mentioned before, I think you got to try to get Carson the ball, and that's what they're trying to do, but Beckley did a nice job defending that time. Now, we haven't seen them get Carson the ball in a jet sweep. They tried one jet sweep earlier with Z. Lewis that didn't get much. We haven't seen him try that with Carson yet, though. Blitz off the edge.
Antoine rolls out away from that blitz. He's got to get rid of it, and he does. That pass is incomplete.
Yeah, he threw it a little bit behind Carson as he was coming across the field just a little bit low and behind him. Had the right idea, but you saw Beckley really coming hard off the edge of that time, and that flushed Antoine out of the pocket. Now, this is 4-down territory here at the 38-yard line, but two nice plays for Beckley to start this defensive series. Let's see if they want to light him up here again on 3rd and long.
With 12 on a play clock, Oak Hill's already burned one timeout in this half.
I'd look for Carson down here singled up at the bottom of the screen.
Snap is back. Antoine's looking the other way. That pass is knocked down, incomplete. 4th down and 10 upcoming for Oak Hill.
Antoine took a shot that time on the back end, too. So after that nice kickoff return, Oak Hill with 3 plays that haven't garnered 1 yard. Nice job from the Flying Eagle defense here.
Oak Hill is facing a 4th and 10 with 2.5 to go in quarter number 3. Down 2 scores. Snap is back. Antoine stepped up in the pocket, got it off, and it's incomplete. Woodrow gets the stop.
Yeah, big defensive series that time. We got a flag here. Let's see. We got a flag here in the secondary. Let's see what this is. This might be, see if this is a defensive hold or something. It's back in the area where it would be. That would be a big call if it is.
Be a huge call.
Two fouls on the play. Illegal formation against the offense. Prior to the pass. Holding defense number 1. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay for
And again, with an illegal formation, Oak Hill could have been looking at a 1st down on that, but that illegal formation, they at least get to run the play again, but you got to get lined up correctly before you can do anything else. And
yeah,
Oak Hill wasn't able to do that again. If I'm Antoine Hicks, I'm anticipating a blitz here from Beckley. I think they're going to light him up.
they're showing it. Rose comes in motion across the formation.
Here they come.
Antoine will get tackled for a 2-yard gain, but that's not enough. Woodrow will indeed get the stop.
Yeah.
35-yard line. The Beckley Flying Eagles will take over.
Good defensive series that time from Beckley after giving up the big kick return. Oak Hill wasn't able to do anything with it. Oak Hill's got to get a stop here in a bad way to stay in this.
Yeah. So they'll take over at the 35-yard line. And again, they're in that double wing set. Handoff going right up the middle, and it's going to go for a couple yards at that. So it's a short gain on 1st down.
Yeah, Oak Hill, nice job in the interior of that line. Again, they're showing that 6-man front against that double wing set, and they've shown that 6-man front with varying degrees of success. Sometimes they've been able to get in the backfield and stop it for nothing. Other times that Beckley's been able to find a seam right in the middle of that defense and hit some big plays against them.
2nd down, 8 from the 37. Man comes in motion across the formation. They'll give it to him. Looked like that was Gage Price on the carry, and that's going to be out to the 42-yard line. So that should be, what, 3rd and 3?
Yeah, 3rd and about 3. James Ludwell again on the tackle that time. I think that was A.J. Thomas who actually got that from a wing position. So, yeah, 3rd and 3 from the 42-yard line as Andreas Johnson is going to check out here for Oak Hill. As Beckley's going to stay in that double wing set. Little reverse inside. That was a really nice play. I think he's short.
He is short.
That was a nice job by Luke Endicott. That's the first time we've seen Beckley run that little inside reverse. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it here, even though it's on their own side of the 50.
No, I'm thinking go for it all the way.
Yeah.
And I get the impression Chad Surratt is as well.
And also, look, Beckley was able to get Oak Hill to jump on a snap count earlier in the first half. Let's see if they change up a snap count here, see if they get Oak Hill to jump too. That's what they were trying right there.
That's what they're trying, yep. And that'll bring a timeout from Beckley.
So better discipline that time from Oak Hill. They held the water and didn't jump off sides. Now, Surratt taking that timeout, though, I still wouldn't be surprised if he goes for it here.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because he'd like to put the nail in the coffin and have a nice clock-eating drive and go up 3 scores. But if you don't get it, that's huge. I would put Oak Hill in really good position. So
yeah, that's
interesting call here for the coach.
I think it's close enough to the midfield strike. I don't know how I wouldn't go for it if it's me. I mean, you've been able to do pretty much whatever you want to on the ground all night.
Well, it looks like he's sending his punt team.
Yeah.
I think he's going to trust his D. But again, I'd be on the lookout for a fake.
Yeah.
If memory serves, I think they tried to run a fake against Oak Hill last year on a punt, and Kate Compton got an interception off of it. So I'd be in punt safe here, and Oak Hill is. Oak Hill's in punt safe. They have nobody back. They have nobody back to receive the punt. And here it is.
It's a fake, and that's going to be a first down.
Yeah, and Oak Hill, I think, knew something was coming, and they defended it pretty well. But with only 1 yard to go, Luke Endicott cut his legs out from under him. But it wasn't enough, and Beckley's able to keep that drive alive.
That drive will likely resume when the fourth quarter begins as time winds down on quarter number 3 to 2 and 1. And that will be how we'll start our fourth quarter, with Beckley having a new set of downs to work with. We'll come back for that fourth quarter after this on the New River Network. We're back here ready to go for quarter number 4. Oak Hill needs to stop in the worst possible way, and if you're Woodrow, you can pretty much give yourself a really good chance of winning this game with a touchdown right here.
Yeah, you really could. Yeah, Oak Hill could use a turnover here in a bad way. And I think you're going to see a heavy dose of that ground game here as they're looking to melt clock.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That 2-score lead.
And giving Woodrow the exact situation they want to be in. That's a handoff going to Gage Burdett. Burdett's going to get a couple of yards, and they're fine with that. Just keep getting a couple of yards at a time and bleed that clock a little bit.
That was Riley Biggs, a freshman who's checked into the game at one of those linebacker positions, put a good hit on him. That'll bring up, that's still a pretty solid gain. Burdett's really good. And a lot of those Beckley backs are, it'll look like it's stocked up, and they just find these little gaps and seams in the interior, and they're able to squeeze through there and get solid yardage.
Burdett once again, and that's going, well, it was going nowhere, and it's going to get a couple of yards out of it. So again, it'll be third and manageable here for Beckley.
Yeah, Ludwig and Luke Endicott were on the tackle. Again, that was Derek Sullivan, who got really good penetration and kind of blew that play up for Oak Hill. And he's made several nice plays. He's got penetration tonight several different times. He's had a pretty solid game from that defensive tackle spot. And he's really the one that made that play that time, even though he didn't get the tackle. He won't get his name in the box score for it. As Tyler Kincaid's going to check out, they're going to bring Antoine Hicks and an extra defensive back in here.
Beckley again going to that formation, and they're going to throw out of it. Bryce looks to throw. That pass is
Picked off.
intercepted. Antoine got the pick.
Yeah, they were just trying to throw a post pattern. Oak Hill had it covered up with 2 men down there. So Antoine Hicks with his 4th interception of the year.
So well, Chris, there's a turnover.
There's a no. Ideally, you'd like to be to have a fumble or something. And
well, yes.
Yeah, but you're right. That for Beckley, I think you're probably looking at that. That's as good as a punt.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oak Hill needed to stop regardless. Oak Hill couldn't let Beckley score again. So they got the turnover. Now they got to do something with it.
10.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Oak Hill down 28-13. So here they go. And that's going to be a handoff for little to no gain there as Kay Compton had it.
Yeah, I think that was Tyrese Jones was able to drag him down. Looks like Kay was going to slide through there for a minute there. But Jones was able to drag him down for just a 2-yard gain that time. You know, and they really haven't been able to, Kay, to establish Kate as much. And they haven't, Oak Hill's thrown the ball a lot tonight. And I don't know if that's by design or if they think they just can't get anything going with that, against that Woodrow defensive line. And other than 1 or 2 runs, they really haven't gotten a lot going on the ground against that Woodrow front.
Flying Eagles showing pressure, and they will bring it. Antoine's got to get out of it. He will, and he'll get hit from behind. That's a live ball, and that'll be scooped up there by Woodrow. That's Preston Clary on the return, and Clary will score. And just like that, it's 34-13 Woodrow.
Yeah, Gage Burdett was hunting him down from that backside the whole time, and Antoine just never felt it. He never felt that pressure, and Burdett was able to strip him just as he was bringing it back to throw the football. But, yeah, Burdett was hunting him down from that backside the whole time. You could see him. That's going to be really hard for Oak Hill to get well here with 9:28 down 3 scores now.
Uh-huh. So here's the extra point upcoming. Trying to make it a 22-point ball game. Snap is back, kick is up, and that kick is good. So 9:28 to go, and it's 35-13 Beckley over Oak Hill.
Yeah, the 4th turnover of the game, and that's just not a recipe for winning football when you have that many turnovers. You just can't keep giving them the ball like that. And then that time it was a live ball turnover that Beckley was able to return. That's Preston Cleary's 2nd TD of the game, 1 offensively and 1 defensively. So you're not going to win a lot of games turning the ball over 4 times.
No, you're not.
Now, Oak Hill's had a couple of nice special team kickoff returns here in the second half. Let's see if they can get another one, try to get some type of spark here to start this drive.
That'd be nice now, wouldn't it?
They need it.
Yeah. And Woodrow's going to try to go onside, and that's not going to go the required distance.
There's no reason to do that.
None.
Andres Johnson jumped on it, and that they're going to get it there. But there's no reason. If that doesn't go 10 yards, just leave it.
Yeah, just.
So that was very dangerous, him trying to jump on that ball. But regardless, that's great field position for Oak Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as good as a really good return. So you'll take that. That ball only went 4 yards.
This is a reminder. It needs to go 10.
So let's see if Oak Hill can take advantage of that great field position. They weren't able to last time. We'll see if they can this time.
Ball's going to be on the 44. Antoine drops the throw. Being pressured, got out of it. He really did get out of it. He's got a whole field in front of him if he wants it. He's going to get out of bounds and get a first down for his troubles.
Yeah, no, he was able to get out of a lot of trouble there that time. I'm like you. I'm not sure how he did it. But Antoine was able to escape trouble and make something out of nothing and get a first down for Oak Hill, move the sticks. Sometimes I wonder if Antoine's in the pocket, if he has trouble seeing over the lineman downfield, though. I'm not sure he's always seeing the field like he needs to.
It's a fair question. Snap is back. He'll get that out, and that pass is tipped, and it could easily have been intercepted there had Javante Wyans got there.
Yeah, and Beckley right now, they're standing everybody up. They're not. No one is in a 3-point stance for Beckley across the front. They're standing everybody up across the front right now on defense. Now their line is in a 3-point stance though. They're going to bring Carson behind.
Antoine backs all the way up, gets that screen off.
That was a really nice design play. So a really nicely designed play that time for Oak Hill. As they brought Carson in motion behind the line of scrimmage. It showed like maybe they're going to try to throw a swing pass like we saw earlier, and then they run a screen out of the backfield to Cade. That was a really nicely designed play. That looked good.
And it got a pretty good chunk of yardage, too. That ball is going to be first down inside the 5.
It's actually at 13. They're not quite down there.
Well, sorry. The first down line to gain is inside the 5, so there we go.
That's right. Now they bring Carson on that jet sweep, which was what I've been asking for.
He's going to get inside the 5, that's for sure. He's going to be near the first down.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen him run Carson on that jet sweep. He looks like he might be a little banged up. He's not getting up. Hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully. Yeah, he's definitely in some discomfort down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, they'll have to come take a look at him, and they can ill afford Carson Treadway to go down. They've had enough injuries as it is. Looks like they might be looking at his lower leg there. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but
hopefully. Is that his head coach out there with him?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see what Devon was wearing before the game, so I'm so far away.
That's a pickup of 9, so that'll bring up a 2nd and a 1 when play resumes. But you can see why I said, last week I thought Oak Hill did a nice job of kind of force-feeding Carson a little bit. And he's had some nice plays here tonight, too. I think he's Oak Hill's most dynamic player with the ball in his hands. And you got to find creative ways to get him the ball, probably similar to the way Princeton does with Bradley Mosser, where they'll line him up in the backfield, they'll throw him screens, they'll send him out in patterns. I think Carson Treadway has to kind of be that kind of player for you, too.
He's going to get up and walk back to the sideline, although he does not look to be
Yeah, hopefully it's something he can
100%.
shake off. Limping, but he is under his own power. He doesn't need help getting off the field, so maybe that's something he can just shake off and come in a few plays later. That puts Oak Hill in business 2nd and 1 at the 4-yard line with 8:18 to go, though.
Big chance here for the Devils to climb back in the game here. And with 8 minutes to go or so, you never really know in high school football.
No, that's true. You never know. So let's see what they can dial up here. They're in really good position. They need to punch this in as quickly as possible because the clock is not on their side.
No, and they've already burned a timeout, too, if that means anything later on. Here's a handoff going to Kay Compton. He's not going to get it. In fact, I think he lost the yard.
Yeah, he sure did. That was come in like a rocket off that edge that time was number 22, Madden Taylor. He's just a freshman, and man, he wrapped up Cade for Cade to get going at all, and he actually, he lost a couple yards that time, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and goal here for Oak Hill. They just haven't been able to get that run game going with Cade.
They're going to mark that further back than I thought. That ball's at 7.
Yeah. He lost 3 yards that time. And if Oak Hill can't establish Cade, because they really like to establish Cade because they can build off of that, but they really haven't been able to do that here tonight against Beckley.
3 on the play clock.
Yeah,
and that's going to be delay of game.
Yeah, man. Shoo, that's a killer. 2nd and goal with the 4. All of a sudden it's going to turn into 3rd and goal at the 12. That's tough.
Yeah. Can't be doing that. That's for sure. And in the process, another minute has gone off of our game clock. It's down to 7:17.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Antoine has to throw that ball. It is into the end zone. What's the ruling? Incomplete.
Yeah, he was looking for Z. Lewis, who was trying to run a quick slant into the end zone. He was kind of singled up out there at the top of the screen. Again, I think Antoine was just a little late on his delivery that time, and then it was low when he did throw it anyway.
4th down and 8 here for Oak Hill. They can get a first down without scoring. But in terms of trying to fight their way back, it's realistically 4th and goal.
Yeah, realistically, you're right.
Snap is back. Antoine will not be able to get out of that one, and Woodrow makes the stop.
That was Madden Taylor again, the freshman from his linebacker position. He made a nice play on Cade a couple plays before. That time he was able to get the sack. Cade tried to pick him up, but he couldn't quite get there, and that's a big play from the freshman, big play for Beckley to keep Oak Hill out of the end zone. And with 7:09 left, this is the time of the game where heads start hanging a little bit, and maybe you start getting a little mentally defeated too.
Mm-hmm. This is also the time, Chris, where it just feels like we just got a telegram talking about what Woodrow's game plan is. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
Well, yeah, I can't see him putting the ball up at this point, up 3 scores.
No.
Yeah, they're just going to pound it, and if you stop them, they'll just punt it back and play defense. But
yeah,
I can't see him putting the ball up.
That's a handoff going out of a shotgun formation, and that's going to gain a couple yards there on 1st down.
Derek Sullivan and Jeremy Lewis. But yeah, that time they've been running that double wing pretty much exclusively here in the second half, and that time they spread it out a little bit. Kept the ball on the ground, but they spread it out and showed you a little different look that time. But nice job from Derek and Jeremy to hold up right there in the interior.
Snap is back. It's a screen out to Preston Clary. Clary is going to run for a little bit as the flag comes in here on the sideline before Preston gets knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hold out there on number 26 for Woodrow. Let me get that. I think it's going to be a hold on Xavier Jones out there. Looks like he had Luke Endicott wrapped up pretty good as Luke was trying to break away. I saw him hang onto that jersey, so I think that's going to bring that screen pass back, although that screen's been pretty effective. They scored their first touchdown of the game off that. And I think it was there again. Actually, I'm not sure that Jones needed to hold on to him right there.
Holding, offense, number 4, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Timeout for an official.
So let me check that. They actually called that on Jaleel Sharp Washington. I thought it was on Jones, but they called that on Jaleel Sharp Washington out there. And that'll negate what was a nice play for Beckley.
Yeah, it really will. And with 6:19 to go, it'll send him back here to make it 2nd down and 8. Are they going to measure?
Well, I guess it's a spot of the foul. call. So even though it was a hold, it's probably going to bring it back to really close to a first down, I guess.
I guess. I think he got it regardless.
See, I thought I saw a hold on Xavier Jones right around the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a first down. And they didn't call that one, I guess. And they called the hold further down the field on Jaleel Sharp Washington. But I thought I saw Xavier Jones have Luke Endicott held up much closer to the line of scrimmage, but they missed out.
So with that, our clock will start winding down. We're down to 6:15 in the ball game. And here is the handoff.
There he goes.
A big one.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Beckley. That's Gage Burdett.
Yeah, there's the nail in the coffin, too. That's the nail in the coffin.
They'll make it 41-13 with 5:59 to go in the game.
So, yeah, rough outing here tonight for Oak Hill. 4 turnovers. They couldn't get their running game established. And, all credit to Beckley. Beckley's really outplayed them here.
Yeah.
And I thought we would see, a fired-up Beckley squad. They lost not only their last 2 at Oak Hill, but they lost 2 in a row coming in. It was senior night here tonight. So I kind of thought we'd get a fired-up Eagle squad. And they were ready to end that losing streak to Oak Hill. Because, like I said in the pregame, they're just not used to it. They're not used to losing to Oak Hill a lot, especially not 2 years in a row. So they're taking out a little bit of the frustration from the previous 2 years out here tonight. They put this one away 42-13.
His extra point is good. Like I mentioned, for Woodrow, there had been some talk. Was a lot of the news outlets around the area had this being the game of the week, and they were all talking about whether or not Beckley or whoever won this game, in this case Beckley, would have a chance to host a playoff game if they won this game. For Woodrow, they have another AAA game coming up. That's at George Washington. It'll be a tough task, but of course we all know anything can and will happen. For Oak Hill, coming back home for an unfamiliar face, North Marion makes its first appearance on an Oak Hill schedule for senior night in Fayette County.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier. North Marion's one of the top teams in AAA. So Oak Hill's going to have to put this one behind them in short order because they get another very good football team next week at John P. Duda Stadium. So they're going to have to rebound from this and just put it in the rearview mirror and get ready for next week. But, just a tough performance here again tonight from Oak Hill. Too many turnovers. That Beckley ground game has hurt them, and then Beckley's made some plays through the air too. And I mentioned earlier I'd be surprised if somebody got into the 30s. And here you go, Beckley showing why that they average 34 games. They put up 42 on Oak Hill here tonight.
That kick will be fielded. Owen trying to cut it back into the middle of the field. He'll get stuffed down at the 25-yard line. Frizz, I have to ask you, just because I know how it feels when when your team's getting their bucket. Does it feel like it dropped another 10 degrees out there?
Yeah. Well, I was cold, and then I stood up, started moving around a little bit, so I'm okay. I think I can get through the last 5:52.
Provided it doesn't go as slow as molasses.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody keeps it on the ground. But if you're Oak Hill, and we're at this point, we're assuming Braden Knight got tossed, that you're going to be without one of your better players next week against North Marion, and you also have to hope that Carson Treadway's okay. We saw Carson Treadway go out with an injury. Now he did go out under his own power; he was limping, but that's a kid you can ill afford to lose. You really need Carson Treadway out on the field, offensively and defensively next week against North Marion.
A flag comes in here.
I think we're going to have delay a game on Oak Hill because they know that I'm sitting out here in the cold and they want to take as much time as possible.
Well, you know what? It's like, hey, you know what, Chris's wife suffered trying to hand out Halloween candy tonight. He has to as well.
So she estimated we got about 450 kids tonight.
450.
That's a heavy candy bill, Lucas.
That
I'll
is
just tell you.
Yes, I will say so.
So before we go off air tonight, I might try to put up a GoFundMe link to help pay for my Halloween candy bill. Anything will help, folks. Anything will help. It's a lot of fun, though. We enjoy handing the candy out and seeing the kids in their different costumes. But
I was going to say, do you miss that tonight?
Yeah, I do, because I enjoy Halloween. I usually just park me a chair out the end of my driveway, and I told Christy when this game was scheduled for Halloween, I said, you might be on your own this year, and she was a trooper, but she said that it was a busy night, and she estimated about 450, and the last couple of years we've estimated it's been right around 400. That's a lot of kids. A lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. That's almost nonstop.
Yeah, it basically is nonstop.
I've got another question for you after this play. Here is the handoff. It's going up to Kate Compton, and he'll get a couple. Is there any? Did she report on any costumes that stood out or anything? What's your favorite over the course of this Halloween career?
That's a good question. No, she didn't report on any costumes. That's a good question. My favorite. I'd have to go through my Rolodex. Nothing's jumping out, but the kids they're always so cute. We really do enjoy doing it. And they, when we moved out there 15 years ago, they told us, they said, Halloween is busy out here, and it's gotten progressively busier each year that we've been out there, and we have to buy more candy each year.
It's a good problem to have, though. It's always fun.
Good problem to have, yeah.
Second down, 13 here, 4-0 kill. And another whistle.
Oh, boy.
Another delay of game.
Yeah, just having a lot of trouble here, just getting plays in, getting lined up correctly. So still, even though we're in, game 9, Oak Hill still with a lot of wrinkles are trying to get ironed out. He bounces that one out there. He's trying to hit the freshman Isaiah Settle out there who's checked in, and he bounced that screen pass out there to him.
They'll bring up a third down and 18. And Chris, we talk about, Woodrow's got these problems too, right? They had a lot of things. They had a lot of pre-snap penalties tonight. Playoffs are in 2 weeks, and both these teams are in. If you're going to be, competitive in the playoffs, you have to stop. That has to be ironed out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, even though Chad Surratt's going to be very happy with a big victory here tonight, he's got a ton of teachable moments for his team. And you're right, they had a lot of pre-snap procedure penalties. So, no, you're exactly right. You want to be able to iron those out with a win as opposed to a loss, but he's got a lot of teachable moments. When they watch film on Monday, there's a lot of things they need to correct.
Absolutely. Now take us down to 4.5 to go in our ball game. And you talk about how it's senior night here in Beckley. They actually moved this kickoff back from 7 to 7:30 to accommodate what might be the biggest senior night festivity I've ever seen. They had people lined up from 20 to 20.
No kidding, really.
It was pretty big. And it looked like there was some costumes among, the band or other people as that ball's on the ground. We'll see who comes up with it. And they're going to say Beckley does.
Yeah, that was number 30, Anthony Hinkle, who came in that time, got the pressure, and he was able to sack Antoine, and Antoine lost the ball, and that's turnover number 5 for Oak Hill.
Now, they were doing multiple sports. They were doing football, the band, and there may have been another organization that I wasn't paying, a ton of attention, but I happened to look out. And it looked like there was some people in costume tonight. Someone did their senior night in a Garfield costume.
Nice. Well, that's memorable.
Exactly. That's what I thought. That'll be one you look back and you hang the picture on the wall. Man, look at me in high school.
It looks like Oak Hill starting to get some backups in the game. They're going to throw that screen to Clary again. That's been an effective play for him here tonight. Peyton Holstein, number 19, has checked into the game.
Lewis got to come out. His helmet came off. Jeremy.
So Tyler Kincaid is going to check in for him as Lewis will take a seat. Riley Biggs into the game now for Oak Hill, the freshman. As I mentioned, Peyton Holstein into the game. Looks like Caden Morris, number 24, is checking in at a linebacker spot here for Oak Hill. There goes Gage Burdett.
He's going to find the end zone once again. Touchdown, Beckley.
Yeah. They're pouring it on right now, man. They got away from Oak Hill in a big way. You know, Oak Hill came out down 21-7, and they scored that touchdown right off the gate to get it to 21-13, and then they actually got a defensive stop on the ensuing, possession, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to climb right back into it, but turnovers and mistakes have just done them in here tonight, and it's what was a close game for a while has kind of turned into a laugher, unfortunately.
Yeah, when people from around the state go to that scoreboard and they're going to look at it and they're going to go, wow.
Yeah.
Kick is up, and the extra point is good. Make it 49-13. Beckley with the lead with 3:10 to go in the ballgame.
Well, that'll probably get us to a running clock now, too, won't it?
I should think.
Yeah, I think it's a 36-point lead, so
we're literally right at that.
3:10, so it doesn't matter that much anyway, but I think that would get us to a running clock. Yeah, I don't know if Beckley can get to one of the top 8 or not. This certainly helps.
Yeah.
I was looking at the standings, and I'm not one of those people that can figure out and estimate, the points for each class or anything, but it possibly could get them to one of the top 8. They love to host. I know that. It'll
certainly give them a better chance, and certainly if they beat George Washington, who knows?
Talking to Brad on Wednesday, I think Oak Hill's resigned to the fact. As I'm trying to stifle a sneeze. We need a sneeze button back.
I've got you.
I'm trying to. But I was talking to Brad on Wednesday night, and I think they're kind of resigned to the fact that their first round opponent's going to be quite a trek. I think they think it's either going to be Jefferson or Washington up in the Eastern Panhandle or Wheeling Park.
Oh.
So I don't think there's any way Oak Hill's going to get away from having a long road trip to start the playoffs, unfortunately.
I should call the kids out at 10 a.m. Say, get on that bus, let's go.
Oh, man, yeah, those are long ones.
This kickoff will be fielded.
That's Isaiah Settle, number 21, the freshman.
He's going to get it out to about the 27-yard line or so.
Ball pass to the 27-yard line.
For a while, it actually looked like the first-round playoff game could be these two again.
Yeah, that I was thinking that too. I followed it the last couple of weeks, and I was thinking that too, that maybe Oak Hill and Beckley can match up in the playoffs. It doesn't look like it's going to work out that way anymore.
And there we are. We've got the running clock.
Yeah.
So you were right. So in 2 minutes and 34 seconds, we'll be out of here, as Oak Hill will suffer defeat and fall to 5-4 on their season.
Caleb Spike, the freshman, has checked in at that quarterback position. He's going to hand it to Cade. And again, Cade couldn't get on track tonight. His first carry of the game went for big yardage, but ever since then they've kind of really been able to corral him. Cade came into the game with 829 yards rushing, so he's got 1,000 yards in his sights. And that's always, a benchmark for a running back if you can get 1,000 yards. I'd love to see him get that next week against North Marion and get it in the regular season. If you get that in the regular season, it means you average 100 yards a game. But he's going to be right at that.
It's going to be very close
at the end of the season, which will be a really nice season for him. Cade came into the year. He had the luxury last year of just being able to play defense, and he didn't have to play offense. And coming into the year, he knew he was going to have to play both, and he was going to be one of the primary ball carriers. And he's really held up for Oak Hill And, the unfortunate part is, you kind of thought Solomon Truman was a kid who was going to be able to take some of that ball carrying responsibility, and he has at different points, but he's been banged up himself. But, Cade's really been able to hold up. He's played a ton for Oak Hill this year, and when you're a running back and a linebacker, man, you're involved in a lot of collisions a game. And, Cade's been a durable kid, and he's had a really good season. He leads Oak Hill in rushing. He leads them in tackles, and he's been a constant for Oak Hill this year. He's had a nice year. As we're going to have another delay of game.
For our clock purposes, it's not really going to mean much, but it will back Oak Hill up. We're now down to 40 seconds on our game clock. Like we said, Oak Hill welcomes in one of the top-notch, I was going to say top of the class in AAA next week, North Marion.
They're right at the top of the class. North Marion's having a very good year.
They'll hand the ball off.
It's going to be the big freshman, Riley Biggs. I think he's going to be a player up here. I really do. I think Biggs is going to be a good player for Oak Hill as the years go on. That's going to be the last play of the game, Lucas.
So the streak continues that Oak Hill has not beaten Woodrow since actually nearly 100 years. Yeah, Oak Hill has been beating Woodrow for 3 years in a row. The streak ends at 2 as Beckley bounces back from a 2-game losing streak in season and to Oak Hill. Wins by the final score of 49-13. And Chris will let you guide the Colt. We'll go ahead and sign off and get started back on the trek to Fayette County after Oak Hill takes one on the chin. For Chase Berry down on the sideline, Robert Pauly on main camera, Chris Rader out there toughing it with the folks. Darren McGuffin right beside me. I'm Lucas Berry saying thank you so much for watching. Good night from Beckley.